On an elevated platform engulfed in black miasma, fog and ghost fire were everywhere. A man sat cross-legged on the platform with his hands upraised in hand seals. Following his slow circulation of his cultivation method, an odd scene happened in the surroundings of his body. The black chi turned into a person's face. A body became visible on this man's body, bearing claw and fang, showing a malevolent look. From far away, this man appeared to be a prehistoric devil or god descended, showing a terrifying dignity. This man was precisely Great Saint Starkiller. Great Saint Starkiller opened his eyes and took a deep breath. After a long while, that circulating devil chi slowly calmed. The 8 Desolate's heavenly demon body has already reached the 8th layer. Just a little more and I can break through the shackles. This star dual covenant truly is Liangshan's absolute, ha, ha. Banging sounds came from outside. Great Saint Starkiller retracted this ability, walking outside. Outside the room, in the courtyard, a woman of extraordinary might was currently brandishing a great blade. That great blade was extremely forceful and dignified, particularly that flowing starlight that showed an eerie black chi. Several dozen demon beasts that the Devil Star Palace had bred were attacking her. Those demon beasts had very terrifying appearances, just like human bodies, wielding blade and spear, and their blade techniques were also consummate. Confronting ordinary cultivators, they had enough to spare, but how could the surrounded woman be any ordinary cultivator? Even Great Saint Starkiller would die without doubt facing them. These serpent demons let out howls. The woman took a step forward, her blade technique dazzling. That trajectory could not be clearly seen by even Great Saint Starkiller. Instantly, the surrounding serpent demons were cleaved to pieces by the great blade. But the girl was not at all satisfied. She stared hatefully at that great blade, heavily waving it about, as if she wanted to shake out the endless pain and resentment. The air resounded with a clap. The girl lifted her head. Her gaze was without emotion. Jin'er, your martial arts are becoming more and more superb. These dozen serpent demons cannot be bested by even supercluster stage elders. Great Saint Starkiller applauded. How can these serpent demons compare to Wu Song, Lin Chong? There are no qualifications for comparison, still not enough. Great Blade Guan coldly said. The expression she looked at Great Saint Starkiller with no longer had that sort of confidence and ease that existed previously. Like the Great Blade's cursed black star, the girl's eyes were deep as hell, making one sink in. Even Great Saint Starkiller felt a chill in his heart. Jin'er, have you still not gotten over that matter? Great Saint Starkiller sighed. Your Highness need not worry. This general naturally will make an all-out effort to acclimate to this hatred, Guan whirled around. Anyone could see that brave star Great Blade Guan Ying's expression was extremely terrifying. When she said that hatred word, even Great Saint Starkiller unexpectedly felt his whole body go cold. Your servant shall continue to go practice blade techniques. Guan walked away, not wishing to say anything more. Great Saint Starkiller wrinkled his brow. He somewhat doubted whether giving Guan the 9 nether devil star stone to refine was right or wrong. Truly, a stubborn star general. An enchanting and alluring woman's voice suddenly appeared in the space. Great Saint Starkiller was startled and raised his head. In the sky appeared countless black butterflies. These butterflies gathered then dispersed to show a woman's figure. The woman was of magnificent and unmatched allure, her body contrasted by a billowing black silk long skirt that highlighted her curves, making men bleed from their noses. Nevertheless, Great Saint Starkiller only felt a deep chill. Lady Ming Dai. As one of the 4 great protectors of the Black Turtle Devil sex, Ming Dai's star energy was boundless, her powers unimaginable. However, at the present stage, Great Saint Starkiller and Guan did not have any possibility of victory in facing this supervoid middle stage great cultivator. What is it, does brave star Guan still obey you? Ming Dai indifferently asked. Jin'er is currently adapting to this 9 nether devil star stone. Great Saint Starkiller deferentially spoke. Training the great blade, renowned head of the 5 Tiger Generals, is much more interesting compared to the star duels. Is it not, Great Saint Starkiller? Ming Dai smiled. Great Saint Starkiller could only smile apologetically. If he so much as dared to think of the word interesting, Guan could sense it. This time, I have come to inform you that the Black Turtle Temple is opening. The mission Devil Ancestor has given to you, do you know? Ming Dai asked. Your servant knows. Your servant definitely will exhaust all of his abilities to present Devil Ancestor with the Dragon Snake Great Good Fortune pills. Great Saint Starkiller made clear his intentions. Ming Dai very happily nodded her head. That you can be so obedient does not betray how meticulously the Devil Star Palace has raised you. As for the 5-star materials for the Brave Star Great Blade, the Devil Star Palace has already nearly helped you accomplish that. If your performance this time makes Devil Ancestor satisfied, then Devil Ancestor shall reward with the materials for 5-star. Ming Dai's eyes carried a mocking smile, looking at the Black Turtle Territory's #1 Great Saint Starkiller as if he was a dog. No mistake, he was merely the dog that the Devil Star Palace had reared for use in the star duels. Obedience was rewarded with a bone. There is also another piece of information. The Black Turtle Temple will have many great sects. At that time, Devil Ancestor wishes to have you capture everything about those star generals in one go within the Black Turtle Temple. You can achieve this? Ming Dai asked. Even if disciple must tread through water and fire, what Devil Ancestor has ordered shall be accomplished. Great Saint Starkiller answered. Ming Dai smiled. There is no need to look like this. The Devil Star Palace would hate to part with you, the Star Master. We naturally will lend you a helping hand. Great Saint Starkiller was delighted. It is time to harvest those 6-star generals of the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion. You and Guan are to quickly go forth. Have Great Blade Guanxing use her purple brilliant moon slashing blade to execute those 6. At that time, the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone can display even greater use. I believe that star weapon can rapidly approach 5-star, even 6-star. But your servant fears that Jin'er, Great Saint Starkiller was nervous. Fear that she will not kill. Ming Dai smiled. Exactly. Although disciple can use command enforcement, if Star Master and Star General are incapable of raising tacit understanding, the current Black Turtle Temple juncture will definitely give rise to variable. Your servant fears that Devil Ancestor's plan will not be successful. What Great Saint Starkiller said was considerably pleasant to hear. Ming Dai's meaning was profound. I cannot see that. You still are so very concerned about that Guan. Could it be that the Star Maiden's beauty has aroused you? Disciple does not dare wish to vainly attempt to dip his finger, bare intentions shall serve Devil Ancestor. Great Saint Starkiller hastily showed his loyalty. As you should. What you say is also logical. If we truly force Guan to a bad spot and Brave Star becomes hostile, the Devil Star Palace shall ruin everything for the sake of one thing. Ming Dai looked pensively. What directions does Lady Ming Dai have? Great Saint Starkiller asked. Ming Dai pondered. So long as you kill the 6 stars, have the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone exhibit its greatest effect. At that time, Guan will inevitably be corrupted by devil intent, unable to become hostile to us. We can also spare all the trouble, but how to kill these 6 stars? Suddenly, Ming Dai eerily smiled. This will depend on Great Saint Starkiller's performance. What can disciple do? The trick of self-injury to earn the enemy's confidence. 2. Can you do this? The trick of self-injury to earn the enemy's confidence. Star General and Star Master have signed a contract. In case a Star Master receives a threat, even the Brave Star will act to protect her master, with all her power. This is their veritable weak point, do you understand? Ming Dai left it at that. Many thanks to Lady Ming Dai. The black butterfly illusion dispersed, and the air was left with only the soft smile of malevolence. The trick of self-injury. Great Saint Starkiller took a deep breath. Jin'er, for the time being, I will have to wrong you. We will cross that bridge when we get there. If we have the strength, This stray dog treatment the Devil Star Palace gives us will definitely be amply returned. Great Saint Starkiller showed a deep murderous aura. Yellow Crane Island, 3. Su Xing soared through the clouds and came to an island named Yellow Crane. This island was considered large, covered in a thicket with a yellow crane tower from which it got its name. However, the baby's breath that he required was reportedly in one of Yellow Crane Island's valleys. That place was a school's establishment known as Yellow Crane Gate. It was because of the Yellow Crane Gate that the several previous attempts of the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion to help Tang Tang find the baby's breath was unsuccessful. However, in the Black Turtle Territory's largest marketplace, the Nine Dragon Sea's Nine Dragon City, 5, some sold it. However, the price was too expensive, and furthermore it was farther away. It was better to gather ones that were readily available rather than make unexpected payments. Su Xing hid in the clouds, sizing up the Yellow Crane Island's topography from the sky. He saw clearly the palace halls in the forest, the cultivators coming and going. As if something had happened in the Yellow Crane Gate, they were somewhat clamorous. I didn't come at the right time. Su Xing wrinkled his brow. Since we're here, we might as well enjoy it. Returning home empty-handed was not his style, and his figure immediately descended into the valley. The trees of the jungle reached for the sky. Baby's breath was reportedly common by marshes. Su Xing thus specially sent to search at those lakes. However, this Yellow Crane Island was near the sea where there was much danger. Often, demon beasts would come here to nest and lay eggs, so Su Xing was not careless. Suddenly, there was a roar. The birds in the trees scattered in all directions out of fright. A giant demon beast charged through the forest. That was an odd creature, possessing sturdy forelegs and an oversized body, like an inflated lizard, but it had only one eye, a bloody maw and sharp fangs. Venom glistened on those teeth. Its appearance was indeed ugly but Su Xing nevertheless did not dare be neglectful upon seeing it. Devil Eye Evil Lizard. 6. The Devil Eye Evil Lizard, a monster that frequently appeared near damp areas. It was particularly fond of deep and cold ponds, very dangerous, and its strength was probably around Galaxy late stage. It did not count as a big threat, yet it was not so easily dispatched. Dear husband, allow me. Before Su Xing could act, Hunyangzi's figure shot forth like an arrow. The Devil Eye Evil Lizard sprayed out a wide rain of acid. Hunyangzi penetrated through the downpour like a nimble sea swallow. She got through by the margin of a hair's breadth. The water's reflection was drawn out, and she suddenly pulled up her body. Like an arrow leaving its string, she directly flew towards the Devil Eye Evil Lizard's head. In midair, her double sabers already fiercely swung out. A golden wind saber chi already shot out from the saber's edge. Muffled bangs sounded out continuously. The Devil Eye Evil Lizard's forehead and shoulders continuously swelled with bloody welts. Clearly, it was already injured by the saber chi, but it basically did not react. It roared loudly, every sort of terrifying high-concentration acid spraying out. The trees and earth were dissolved. But it did not have the slightest effect on Hunyangzi. Even if that kind of downpour was so concentrated, amid Hunyangzi's magnificent light smoke dance steps, she simply was traversing an empty path. The Hunyangzi that was completely without any leeway quickly already surpassed the Devil Eye Evil Lizard's limit. Even her backward speed was far faster than these attacks. If it was not for holding back to avoid startling the Yellow Crane Gate's people, Hunyangzi perhaps could be even more relaxed. Roar! The Devil Eye Evil Lizard roared loudly. Its right claw already brought powerful wind pressure as it violently swept downwards towards Hunyangzi. Bang! With an enormous sound, the strong right claw ruthlessly scratched a trench into the earth, yet even Hunyangzi's water-blue skirt was not stained at all. The corner of Hunyangzi's mouth floated a slight sneer. Hunyangzi's figure flashed and landed. The golden wind and morning dew double sabers resonated and carved green and golden wind. The Devil Eye Evil Lizard was beheaded without any ceremony. The double sabers were stowed. Hunyangzi noticed that Su Xing was currently staring at her. The girl felt her face. Does Nyangzi have something on her face? Su Xing returned to his senses, looking pensive. Wife, you seem to be preoccupied. No, dear husband is thinking too much. Hu Nyangzi kept a straight face. If you have something on your mind, you must tell me. I am your dear husband, you have to believe in me. Su Xing said with concern. Bright star 10 feet of blue. Hu Nyangzi nodded, opening up her face, the corner of her mouth retaining a shallow smile. Zhao Hanyan, Yan Yizhen, and Ensuan prepared for several days at the Great Liang Imperial Palace. The Ling Yan princess told them beforehand about the important items to note about the palace of Empress Hua before moving out for the Valley of Empress Hua. The Valley of Empress Hua was surrounded on all sides by mountains. Thousands of rocks contended for beauty, tens of thousands of gullies vied for the river flow. Multicolored flying swords assembled from every corner of the world. In the center of the valley, there were already many cultivators. When the Ling Yan princess was arrived, she attracted the gaze of everyone present, regardless of sex or age. Zhao Hanyan was accustomed to this sort of staring, and her natural imperial pride did not lose any of its grace. Even a few star generals would take a step back. Zhao Hanyan landed at the place for the true immortal hall. Senior Sun Jinzi. Xian Jinzi looked at the beautiful disciple in front of him, inwardly startled that the star dual covenants were formidable as expected. He had spent more than half a lifetime only to reach supercluster late stage. Now, Zhao Hanyan had already attained success with a single step, and this time of cultivation had been just a short 4 years. Princess Highness. The true immortal hall's star cultivators deferentially saluted. Zhao Hanyan slightly nodded and looked around the valley. In each of the generations' evil smiting hall, the palace of Empress Hua would appear in the final 3 days before it ended. The renowned 1,000-year tears of Empress Hua were born inside the palace of Empress Hua. Each generation at this time, all of Azure Dragon territory would be alarmed, but such a beautiful thing had already been tacitly agreed upon by the 10 great sects. Before this time, the guard of the palace of Empress Hua was extremely tight. Without a writ of passage, cultivators and sects that planned to reap a share of the words first made plans for their souls to be destroyed. And as far as this palace of Empress Hua was concerned, this was an extremely rare opportunity for all star masters and star generals. Not only because of the tears of Empress Hua, but also because before the start of the 4th phase, the palace of Empress Hua could be said to be a supreme warm-up. Practically all of the Azure Dragon territory's sects and star masters would get together all at once. In addition, the end of the 3rd phase signified that all star generals had become complete star generals. The star duels would no longer hold back at all. Princess, these two are. Xian Jinzi looked at Yan Yizhen and Ensuan. The 2 girls followed Zhao Hanyan. Beforehand, they had already changed to maid outfits and put on face veils. He could not recognize them. These are Hanyan's maids, they will enter the palace of Empress Hua together with Hanyan. Zhao Hanyan played down her reply. Princess Highness, you must be careful around Yan Wudao of the Lifeless Hall. Xian Jinzi stroked his beard. The corner of Zhao Hanyan's mouth held in a smile. Her gestures were graceful, and the elegant purple palace dress was like smoke and fog, making the Ling Yan princess appear somewhat mysterious. Why does Senior Xian Jinzi say this? While we were discussing about this time's palace of Empress Hua just now, that Yan Wudao's star general featherless arrow Zhang Qing has apparently been continuously upgrading her star weapon. We fear it is 4-star, even 5-star. Xian Jinzi and the Lifeless Hall's ancestor Longevity were old friends. To hear this from his mouth, clearly it could not be that wrong. Zhang Qing's 5-star destined weapon. Zhao Hanyan's eyebrows rose. Zhang Qing was a top-notch expert in concealed weapons. The higher her star weapon level, the greater the menace it could bring about. Although Zhao Hanyan these days had also finally upgraded Steadfast Star Dong Juanqing's star weapon to 4-star, under the situation of identical level star weapons, Zhang Qing's hidden tools took an even clearer advantage. That honestly makes your servant excited. Dong Junqing licked her lips, disdainfully putting this beneath her. She turned her head to look engrossingly at the expressionless Yanizhen and the warm Ensuan. What do you say? A moment later, several exclamations of surprise came from the valley of Empress Hua. A vast expanse of snow-white fog descended from the sky. A young girl standing on a snow-white flying sword landed. She was absolutely beautiful, garbed in clothes that surpassed snow. Her long black hair was like a waterfall, and her forehead was heroic, her figure graceful. She naturally wore an ice cold that repelled people, adding to the girl an icy grace that no other woman had. Beside the girl was also a tall woman in accompaniment. Different from her icy arrogance, this woman was like stone, just like a sculpture. Little sister Kaiwei, it seems you had a great harvest. Zhao Hanyan slightly smiled at the young girl. The girl's cultivation had reached the peak of galaxy stage, and it seemed a breakthrough to supercluster stage was not due for long. The immortal hero Princess Gong Kaiwei nodded, not batting an eyelid. Zhao Hanyan Long was already accustomed to her unreasonable personality. She carried herself with grace, saying nothing more. Gong Kaiwei walked to the Extreme Ice Holy Palace. The fairy ladies of the Extreme Ice Holy Palace were concerned as they asked about something. They probably were discussing matters regarding this palace of Empress Hua. The snow-like brilliance of Gong Kaiwei's pupils were absent-minded as she nodded. A while after, the alliance of 10 sects arrived one after another, including among them the Blooming Water Sword sect which was without a star master. However, this did not obstruct them from visiting the palace of Empress Hua at all. I hear that Imperial Sister has found 2 maids to follow her. Imperial Sister, when have you been so careful? A magnetic man's voice came to Zhao Hanyan. The approaching man's face was like Jade, a handsome appearance. He was elegant, and beside him followed a girl wearing a pink palace dress, who was beautiful with an extraordinary temperament. Zhao Heng looked at Yanizhen and Ensuan, somewhat disapproving of Zhao Hanyan's conduct. It is preferable to be cautious. Imperial Sister exhorts Imperial Little Brother, in all cases, do not be overly self-confident. Many thanks to Imperial Sister for the advice. However, to enter the Hall of Empress Hua within, those who are not Star Masters cannot enter. Imperial Sister's 2 maids perhaps are unnecessary. Zhao Heng smiled. You had better first worry about yourself. Dong Junqing said in annoyance. Zhao Heng glanced with restrained fear at this 5-tiger general, saying quietly to Zhao Hanyan, Imperial Sister, how about we siblings join hands for the palace of Empress Hua? We can get rid of all the other Star Masters. Is this palace of Empress was not ours? Junqing, what do you say? Zhao Hanyan did not answer. Dong Junqing looked lasciviously at the young girl beside Zhao Heng. If little sister Qingshuang agrees to sleep with Junqing for a night, perhaps Junqing will agree depending on little sister's affection. It truly is an extraordinary shame and humiliation that the 5-tiger generals have an elder sister like you. Suo Qingshuang snorted. Junqing will make you feel even more ashamed. Dong Junqing was completely like a shameless pervert. Your Highness, let us go. There is no need to accept a compromise. The 5-tiger generals are even more likely to become the target of others. Since your Highness was so kind and the princess so unwilling to accept, then do not blame us for not first warning you. Suo Qingshuang sneered, turning around and leaving. Imperial Sister, please take care of yourself. Zhao Heng is being good-intentioned. Zhao Heng cupped his fist and left. However, what that impatient vanguard said is somewhat reasonable. Junqing, we must be careful. As expected, Dong Junqing was the only 5-tiger general at this palace of Empress Hua. This status would turn into a thorn in the side of the other sects, without doubt. Junqing will properly teach those disobedient little sisters. Dong Junqing chuckled. At the final moment before the palace of Empress Hua opened, the clear void most high path also rolled over on a green cloud. All of the more than 100 cultivators in the valley threw their gazes over. The Azure Dragon Territory's #1 great sect, all of the cultivators that came were each of reserved temperament, of extraordinary presence. The clear void most high path has suffered repeated and heavy losses ever since the Purple Thunder monster was born. Several of its great cultivators had died. 2. However, the Most High Path was still worthy of the name of the Azure Dragon Territory's #1 path. The one leading these Most High Path cultivators still was a supervoid cultivator. Furthermore, this one was a female cultivator named Nangong Xing. 3. The other sect ancestors each extremely revered her. However, what was more eye-catching than Nangong Xing, nevertheless the one called the Azure Dragon Territory's #1 genius, Xie Jinyuan. Xie Jinyuan still had an imposing appearance, the person simplistic as a chrysanthemum. However, this genius halo had long already fallen. His cultivation was currently only supercluster middle stage, only one level away from Zhao Hanyan. Never expected the talented Xie Jinyuan surprisingly would contract an earthly star completely lacking in martial force. Truly, this princess cannot understand what this man is thinking. Zhao Hanyan shook her head. Xie Jinyuan indeed was a genius. With his talent and background, contracting a top-notch heavenly star was not out of the question. If this was the case, he actually had a possibility to vie for the overlordship, but following the exposure of Xie Jinyuan's star General Hou Jian, no one believed he still could have any chances. Regarding his choice, which the Most High Path indulged in, the entire Azure Dragon Territory was still puzzled after pondering over 100 times. Suan heard Big Brother say before that the Most High Path has another star master, one who has contracted Elder Sister Investigative Star. And Suan whispered. What? Zhao Hanyan and Dong Junqing were stunned at the same time. Investigative Star unrestrained? Zhao Hanyan's tone was heavy. Are you sure the Most High Path has another star master? Dong Junqing wrinkled her brow. And Big Brother was sneak attacked by her. And Suan nodded. The investigative star, huh? A top-notch assassin. To be sneak attacked, your brother truly is abnormal to have survived that. Dong Junqing snorted, a sort of regretful tone. What a formidable trick. Surprisingly, they put Xie Jinyuan in the spotlight while nurturing another one in the dark, so formidable. Zhao Hanyan pursed her lips. Her beautiful eyes gazed at the Most High Path, attempting to seek out that dubious star master. However, to be able to contract the investigative star, the opponent clearly was very skilled at hiding himself. Zhao Hanyan could not discern them. Everyone has waited for a long time, now make way immediately. If you are not one of the 10 great sects, or a disciple of a sect without a writ of passage, immediately withdraw. Otherwise, face the consequences. Nangong Xing indifferently issued this order. Just at this moment, black clouds galloped over from the horizon. Apologies, this sect has arrived late. Ancestor Longevity apologetically smiled, for the lifeless hall was late. Any later, and there would be no need for the lifeless hall to come. Nangong Xing coldly said. Fairy Nangong is also here, this old man apologizes. Ancestor Longevity cupped his fist. No nonsense. Begin to vacate now. Do not be deceived by anyone, especially that purple thunder monster. Nangong Xing said. No one dared to be neglectful. The palace of Empress Hua was so large, the purple thunder monster perhaps would not pass up a good opportunity. This monster had now made the 10 great sects hate him to the bone. How could they be willing to give this bastard a chance? Zhao Hanyan snickered. Princess, what is the matter? Dong Junqing was perplexed. To think that Su Xing can make these ancestors keep quiet out of fear, this princess feels this is interesting. Zhao Hanyan shallowly smiled. Steadfast star Dong Junqing wrinkled her brow, her heart very jealous of Zhao Hanyan's sweet and happy smile. Soon, these 10 great sects' ancestors can only be extremely deferential to Su Xing. Zhao Hanyan already could imagine it. No need to wait any longer. If they truly wish to harm Master, slave servants shall go help Master settle some trouble right now. Yanizhen did not hesitate at all to speak. Zhao Hanyan was taken aback. She gently smiled, do not be too impulsive, Yanqing. The inside of the palace of Empress Hua will naturally have trouble. When the 10 great sects began to lock down the palace of Empress Hua, Zhao Hanyan looked around the valley, sizing up these star masters and star generals. In the Ling Yan princess' eyes, the ones worthy of note were Zhang Qing's 4 or 5-star hidden weapon of Yan Wudao and the assassin hidden in the Most High Path. Both were experts of difficult to defend backstabbing assassinations. Zhao Hanyan thought. Secondly was the Crystal Dragon King Palace. The Crystal Dragon King Palace's cultivators were many, and their star master was indistinguishable, but Zhao Hanyan did not dare lower her guard around this treasure-great sect. However, what made the Ling Yan princess wrinkle her brow the most was the purple firmament immortal palace that had yet to show their face. Just what was this purple firmament immortal palace planning? Could it be they were giving up on these star duels? As she thought this, she suddenly heard everyone gasp. Zhao Hanyan stowed her thoughts. In the center of the valley, a gorgeous palace hall began to appear just like a water painting from the mountain stream, swirling open. Su Xing, Hun Yangzi, and Gongsun Huang searched the Yellow Crane Island's forest for the tracks left behind by the evil lizard. A long while afterwards, Su Xing caught sight of several women wearing odd attire that sternly stood in wait. Their eyes were full of concentrated vigilance, as if they were guarding something. Su Xing guessed that the cold pool of that baby's breath was in the middle. He saw that though the cultivations of these young girls was merely galaxy stage, each and every one of them was like a deity, their countenances dignified. Recalling that Yellow Crane Gate was seemingly in somewhat of a ruckus, if he forced his way through, that would perhaps give rise to unnecessary trouble. Su Xing pondered for a moment, exchanging looks with Gongsun Huang and Hun Yangzi. Gongsun Huang entered the star nest while Hun Yangzi waited outside. Following this, he used hiding, avoiding the eyes and ears of these girls. He carefully slinked away. A long while afterwards, Su Xing effortlessly infiltrated 100 meters. Seeing those girls standing guard not notice him at all, Su Xing breathed a sigh of relief, and then he continued to sneak carefully in. A slight chill came through the air. He was already drawing near the cold pond. Su Xing's heart was delighted when at this moment, a faint voice came from the cold pond that mercilessly extinguished Su Xing's joy. Su Xing was startled, held his breath and heard a woman's voice speak. Queen Jinglun, too, the Yellow Crane Gate's sect master Taoist Master Yellow Crane is determined to not lend the Yellow Crane Tower. He still is unwilling to lend it. A languid beauty's voice indifferently replied. The Yellow Crane Tower is the Yellow Crane Gate's holy place. That Taoist master said that only the successive generations of headmasters can come and go. Our threats did not move him. The Yellow Crane's holy place. Truly laughable. If it was not for me requiring the 48 9 songs Yellow Dragon Pearls, 3, on the Yellow Crane Tower, why would I ever treasure that sort of decrepit building? Inform that Taoist Master Yellow Crane, I will give him 10 times the reward. If he refuses, then do not blame me for being overbearing. The woman being addressed as Queen Jinglun had a tone full of tyranny. Su Xing could imagine her high and mighty attitude from just listening to her voice. Slave servant does as you bid. The sounds of rustling departures faded into the distance. There was silence for a long while. Another warm woman's voice said, Is Queen Jinglun truly preparing to make a move against the Yellow Crane Gate? The Yellow Crane Gate's influence is not small, and this place is also their domain, perhaps Queen's hands will be dirted. Ziyu, someone else taking the Yellow Crane Tower will leave me at wit's end. I definitely do not value it, but this 9 songs Yellow Dragon Pearl can help me upgrade my star weapon to 5-star. How can I let this go? Queen Jinglun teased. What Queen said is true. Star weapon upgrade? Su Xing was immediately stupefied upon hearing this. This Queen Jinglun was a star maiden. What star maiden could be so imposing, to unexpectedly be able to have this sort of capability? Her speech could be so disdainful to this Yellow Crane Gate, Su Xing was unable to hold back the curiosity in his heart. He parted the shrubbery, carefully casting a glance, very curious just what sort of character this Queen Jinglun was. This look nearly made Su Xing's beastly instincts erupt. He spotted a woman standing tall in the cold pond accepting the care of several maids. She was absolutely naked, her butt jutting out. That extremely good figure exposed in the air had an additional plumpness and lacked wiriness. Her mien was charming, and the makeup on her face was very beautiful, just like the world's most perfect masterpiece. Even people made of stone would melt away from just her graceful curves. Her purple hair cascaded down to her shoulders. 4 beautiful maids around the woman washed her body. They were faintly discernible as beauties as well, but they lost their splendor before this woman in front of them. If it could be said that woman's body was completely ripe just like a fruit that made one devour it in a single gulp, these maids were too immature. Even though he had seen countless beauties, the Su Xing who had innumerable encounters with such beauties still actually drew in a breath. This woman honestly was an absolute beauty. Queen Jinglun currently was conversing with a young girl wearing a purple vest and a long skirt. They did not take note at all, but her every action and her body's finest details were completely taken in by Su Xing's eyes. Is Queen truly preparing to go to Black Turtle Temple? The Ziyu girl said. For such a grand occasion, how can I not go? Queen Jinglun slightly smiled. But I hear that the Devil Star Palace's great Saint Starkiller has most recently given Guan Sheng's Frost Fair Blade a 9 nether Devil Star Stone to use. The Black Turtle Territory's people surmise that Great Saint Starkiller will take action against the other Star Masters inside Black Turtle Temple. Perhaps it will be dangerous for Queen. Ziyu said. The Grand Brave Star has surprisingly fallen to the state of a Devil Star. Truly lamentable. If I have the chance, I shall go test her. Queen Jinglun was not at all worried, her tone even thoughtful, so I must have these 9 songs Yellow Dragon Pearls. Ziyu righteously said, Tantai Ziyu, 5, definitely will tread through water and fire for Queen. Queen Jinglun's face wore a slight smile. She said, Ziyu, come down and bathe with me. This Yellow Dragon Cold Pond really does enjoy a well-deserved reputation. Rumor has it that it can nourish your skin, so do not be modest. Tantai Ziyu hesitated a moment. She was incapable of refusing Queen Jinglun's smile. She nodded, reaching out her hand to undress. The young girl's white naked body very quickly was revealed in front of Su Xing's eyes. It was different from Queen Jinglun's. The girl completely faced him directly. Queen Jinglun and Tantai Ziyu washed under the service of the 4 maids. This scene was somewhat erotic. Su Xing turned his gaze, and just at this moment, there was suddenly a gurgling sound from the forest beside him. The shrub parted, and a horned demon beast walked out snarling. Its bronze-like eyes suddenly glinted with golden light as it stared at Su Xing. Oh, shit! Su Xing's heart chilled. The single-horned demon beast roared, and the forest rumbled. A chill that reached the bone came from the cold pond. Su Xing shot into the sky, instantly using an escape technique. He then ran. Seeing that this woman's influence was seemingly extensive, and with the Black Turtle Temple before him, he did not want to complicate things. So quick at running. Su Xing flashed into the sky, leaving behind an afterimage. He had only just left when Queen Jinglun's palm leveled the place he had been hiding at. Queen! The dozen beautiful maids immediately congregated at the cold pond on their riding swords. A man! Tantai Ziyu's face chilled. What are you all doing? Queen is bathing, and for a man to be unexpectedly be let through. Tantai Ziyu slapped the woman acting as the leader. She slapped her face so hard that a painful handprint appeared on her face and blood leaked out from her mouth. Queen Jinglun did not say anything, but her expression was full of unhappiness. The girl did not dare quibble, disciple has neglected her duties. She shall now bring that man back. Unnecessary. Queen Jinglun coldly said. Queen, Tantai Ziyu was perplexed. My single-horned Pishio beast, 6, is already in pursuit. To allow you all who could not even detect him to go chase after him, truly is a joke. Queen Jinglun said, displeased. Disciple should die. The dozen girls knelt in self-blame. Tantai Ziyu shouted, "Return and punish yourselves." "Forget it, they cannot be blamed. That man was no more than 50 paces away from me, yet I unexpectedly did not notice. It seems he is an expert in presence concealment." A thoughtful smile hung on the corner of Queen Jinglun's lips. She did not know how long her sensual sight in the cold pond had been spied on by that man. Queen Jinglun's heart had some displeasure, yet it did not so easily flare up. This could only be blamed on her being so audacious in bright daylight. To be spied on like this, Queen Jinglun lost her interest in bathing. The maids dressed her. Good. I will now personally visit upon the Yellow Crane Gate. Queen Jinglun pursed her lips, her fingers playing with a lock of hair that drooped down. Immediately prepare the cart. Tantai Ziyu ordered. The others did not dare be neglectful. Queen Jinglun glanced in the direction Su Xing escaped in, deep intrigue in her eyes. Su Xing's wandering the clear skies directly flew high into the sky. Behind him was screeching. The clouds rolled, and that demon beast that had discovered Su Xing pursued him relentlessly. It had golden eyes, a lofty single horn, appeared to be like a lion and tiger, and it exuded a fierce chi. A star beast? Su Xing wrinkled his brow, yet he had never heard of this. Gongsun Huang emerged from the star nest. She pointed a finger, and star magic struck that single-horned Pishio beast. That single-horned Pishio beast was intelligent, evading. Just as Gongsun Huang was about to release Di Nu, Su Xing stopped her. Don't startle the snake in the grass. 7. A gorgeous phoenix the likes of the Di Nu heavenly phoenix still could not yet be seen by anyone. Currently, Su Xing already knew that Queen Jinglun will also go to Black Turtle Temple, and he naturally did not wish to all of a sudden have an additional opponent. Who was he kidding? Su Xing did not believe that Star General would remain aloof after her body had been peeped on. Gongsun Huang nodded in understanding. Roar. The single-horned Pishio beast would not wait that long. Its figure flashed, and the single-horned Pishio beast roared loudly. The air suddenly released green wind blades, and this fierce beast did not hesitate at all to launch its assault. The violent chi flames seemingly were about to swallow Su Xing whole. Su Xing's fingers snapped. Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder attacked, and the first bolt of purple thunder hooked a purple line, shattering with the green wind blades. The single-horned Pishio beast suddenly disappeared. The single-horned Pishio beast pounced. The imposing air of its body was seemingly substantial. Just the slightest touch could make one die horribly. A powerful star beast? It appeared to not fall behind the Di Nu heavenly phoenix, being in the same category. Su Xing hastily withdrew. Suddenly, he whirled around, his finger pointed at the single-horned Pishio beast's eye. A dragon roar flew out, and the 12 heaven tearing directly shot at the single-horned Pishio beast's pupil. The single-horned Pishio beast erected a magnificent light barrier, like a net, that entangled the flying swords. Even with Heaven Tearing's destructive power, it was temporarily unable to struggle free. A surprising capability that, at this time, the single-horned Pishio beast already arrived in front of Su Xing, opening its mouth. Su Xing was calm and unhurried. As he retreated, he let out Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder and other abilities. Once again, the purple thunder scattered and fell like rainwater. Purple lotus flowers concentrated and multiplied. The single-horned Pishio beast roared like thunder, and the launched purple thunders were split apart by visible chi flame. Su Xing immediately ascended to an even higher altitude, hastily retreating. Loud sounds detonated behind him one after another. The figure the single-horned Pishio beast created was just like a viper giving relentless chase. Without any time to catch his breath, this shadowy intent to kill pressed in from all sides. The single-horned Pishio beast's speed was simply stifling. It is the single-horned Pishio beast. Gongsun Huang suddenly said. Pishio beast? Su Xing was even more surprised upon hearing this name. Was that not an existence close to a holy beast? Like its name, the single-horned Pishio beast was considerably ferocious. Its speed was extremely quick, and an altitude of 10,000 meters would not hinder it in the slightest. Even Su Xing had a hard time sensing its trajectory. It appeared to be a shadow from hell. The single-horned Pishio beast already showed a malevolent posture, pressing down upon Su Xing from behind. A baleful aura of death arrived heavily. Su Xing once again dodged, but without his previous ease. If it truly was a holy beast, then it was honestly thorny. Gongsun Huang blinked. Immediately, she prepared to call forth the new heavenly phoenix. Su Xing pondered for a while. Considering that he was going to Black Turtle Temple for the sake of Zhang Yuqi, if at this time he established Queen Jinglun as a powerful enemy, clearly that was outside of consideration. Su Xing actually felt indifferent, but by implicating the white stripe in the waves, he was somewhat letting her down. Su Xing retreated as he battled, still preparing to break free of this single-horned Pishio beast. But how could the single-horned Pishio beast be so easily shaken off? Originally, when Su Xing captured the new heavenly phoenix, he needed to borrow the power of Lady Snake Scorpion. Confronting this sort of monster by himself, Su Xing was very pressured. A green wind blade shot out of the single-horned Pishio beast's mouth. At such a close distance, the wind blade pierced through Su Xing's head, but that was an afterimage. Su Xing used wandering the clear skies, and his movements were already fast enough to make the wind blade's speed incapable of catching up. Bang! A bolt of purple thunder struck, and the single-horned Pishio beast roared. Su Xing seized this chance to withdraw, activating an escape technique. The single-horned Pishio beast's chi flame transformed into a sharp sword, attacking Su Xing like tens of thousands of copper needles. Su Xing was amazed to sweep his gaze over the minute wounds on his body. The demon beast in front of him was more difficult to shake off than he had imagined. An existence approaching that of a holy beast, he thought things would not be very simple. Su Xing actually was even more curious about that Queen Jinglun, to be able to possess a star beast that had never before appeared in the star beast list. It seemed her background was not small. The single-horned Pishio beast flung its horn. The airflow around this single-horned Pishio beast continuously twisted. Its gold-like eyes flickered, and with a bellow, the single-horned Pishio beast once again scuttled, blending together with the air. Under the shelter of the airflow, it even could reach a stage where its breathing completely disappeared. Without its breathing, it seemed to be like air. Su Xing felt his head ache. Passing through this brief probe, Su Xing more or less knew the characteristics of the single-horned Pishio beast. It possessed tyrannical close-range attacks and superb concealment skills. In the sky, the single-horned Pishio beast practically was a tiger that had grown wings. Its speed was too quick, and Gongsun Huang's star magic lost its usefulness. It seemed that he had found a terrible place. Su Xing thought to himself. Immediately, he quickly retreated backwards, not knowing which was more powerful compared to the new heavenly phoenix. Su Xing muttered to himself, his figure flying inverted, leaving several dozen li away from Yellow Crane Island. However, he was worried that Queen Jinglun would pursue, so Su Xing did not dare yet allow the new heavenly phoenix to emerge. He stroked his chin, narrowing his eyes. Bang! There was a slamming sound. The single-horned Pishio beast pounced and was impeded by Gongsun Huang's star magic. Little Huang, let's go. Su Xing called. The two tread on clouds, directly flying. The single-horned Pishio beast pursued them relentlessly. Its figure could be vaguely seen in the clouds, its speed abnormally quick. The horn's green light appeared. The airflow in the sky rapidly flowed, like a sharp sword. The single-horned Pishio beast did not have the patience to wait so long. It quickly launched an attack on Su Xing's back. The attack of wind was absolutely quick, but the single-horned Pishio beast landed on nothing. Su Xing's body techniques made the single-horned Pishio beast surprised. Those body techniques were illusory, and he easily avoided its attack. Su Xing turned around, forming a hand seal. 12 flying swords shot out, and not surprisingly, they were trapped by the single-horned Pishio beast's wind net. The single-horned Pishio beast roared in a rage. That chi flame constantly changed, interwove, concentrated, and thundered. Your Highness. Gongsun Huang cocked her head, once again pondering if she should call forth the new heavenly phoenix. Wait a little longer. Su Xing answered, the heaven-tearing flying swords in protection. He continuously blocked each and every one of the single-horned Pishio beast's attacks. This star beast basically was incapable of harming him. Let alone attacking, just approaching Su Xing was not that easy. Su Xing had originally wanted to thereby whittle away the single-horned Pishio beast's endurance. How could he have foreseen that this star beast was untiring? Now that the heaven-tearing flying swords were beginning to sustain damage, Su Xing sighed and nodded. Gongsun Huang's red star crest flashed. A mad gale and heavenly fire burned. Hiss! An emotional phoenix cry. The entire sky rolled with red clouds, and the gorgeous and graceful new heavenly phoenix flew out. The single-horned Pishio beast was shaken, stopping its threatening gestures. The roaring gale stopped the new heavenly phoenix's magnificence. A dazzling ray of light blinded them. The light unexpectedly made the single-horned Pishio beast's protective chi flame vanished. The single-horned Pishio beast let out a low roar. Gongsun Huang pointed. Phoenix dances 9 days. In no more than an instant, the new heavenly phoenix suddenly launched its attack. From the speed of that instant, Su Xing still was quite gratified, for the new heavenly phoenix was not slow. Although the single-horned Pishio beast's stormy chi flame had vanished, it appeared to be wielding some other uses for it. Its robust body clearly supported pressure that exceeded its limits. Its movements seemed small, even the slightest movement difficult. However, this sort of difficulty lasted only an instant. As far as the single-horned Pishio beast was concerned, this was not enough. Its body fluttered in the sky. The new heavenly phoenix's talons already grabbed the single-horned Pishio beast's skull, scorching heavenly fire immediately rolling across its whole body rapidly. The broiling flames already engulfed it. Tit for tat, the single-horned Pishio beast let out berserk might. However, the new heavenly phoenix did not care for these circumstances. Its whole body was suffused with rainbow light, and its other talon already ruthlessly clawed the single-horned Pishio beast's face. Phoenix fire descended. Bang, bang, noises just like a heavy hammer striking iron resounded. The new heavenly phoenix's flames were just like raindrops continuously storming down. Its burning wings allowed the ice-cold gale to roll across, yet its firm grasp on the single-horned Pishio beast's cranium did not loosen in the slightest. The frantic attack evoked a great amount of air that shot forth. The entire sky seemed to cave in. Su Xing was endlessly thankful. Yellow Crane School, front gate. More than 100 women on riding swords assembled outside the Yellow Crane School's mountain gate. Taoist Master Yellow Crane had a yellow brow and level eyes, crane hair, and a childish countenance. His cultivation was supervoid early stage, and the 100 disciples by his side gripped swords in grim weight. Taoist Master Yellow Crane, do you insist on your unwillingness to lend the Yellow Crane Tower? A woman was currently negotiating with him. Taoist Master Yellow Crane sneered. As a supervoid cultivator, how could he willingly give out the symbol of the Yellow Crane School, the Yellow Crane Tower? Minute Star 9 Tattooed Dragon Shurjin, do you think this Taoist master does not know that you desire the Yellow Crane Tower's 9 songs Yellow Dragon Pearls to upgrade your star weapon? In the past star duels, this school has never handed them over, and neither will we turn them over today. Even if your 9 Dragons Palace is yielded to this Taoist master will not agree. 9 Tattooed Dragons Shurjin, if you have the capability, then come out and speak yourself. Taoist Master Yellow Crane laughed aloud. Do you insist on making me show my face? A graceful and warm voice penetrated the entire place. The disciples of the 9 dragons separated to form a path. A mature and lovely woman gracefully arrived. She was exactly the woman bathing in the cold pond, and she was also the current imperial empress of the 9 dragons palace, the minute star. Taoist Master Yellow Crane's eyes flashed with a clear light, and his expression appeared genial. Minute star 9 tattooed dragons, are you so determined to take the 9 songs yellow dragon pearls? Taoist Master Yellow Crane smiled. Does the Taoist Master acquiesce? I have but made my decision. 9 tattooed dragons. Sure, Jinglun thoughtfully played with her hair. Furthermore, the 48 blue water azure dragon pearls I gave you does not treat Taoist Master unfairly. Before Taoist Master Yellow Crane could speak, a supercluster late-stage elder beside him waved his sleeve coldly. The Imperial Empress of the 9 Dragons Palace is truly good at jokes. The Yellow Crane Tower is the symbol of my school. Without the 9 songs yellow dragon pearls, is it still the Yellow Crane Tower? Then Taoist Master makes me vexed. Sure, Jinglun smiled. So we ask that the 9 Dragons Palace Imperial Empress go back. This school is honestly unable to help you, however much we want to. Taoist Master Yellow Crane said. Headmaster, the 9 Dragons Palace Imperial Empress has personally come to see you with much difficulty. Shall we not give the 9 Dragons Palace Imperial Empress a choice? So as to avoid others saying our Yellow Crane school did not give the 9 Dragons see any face. A middle-aged man laughed aloud, his expression a clear provocation. 9 Dragons Palace Imperial Empress, if you can serve my school's disciples for one night, I believe something like the 9 songs yellow dragon pearls will not mind even if the headmaster disagrees to give them to you. That large man grinned. The other people in the sect laughed without restraint. Outrageous. Tantai Ziyu flew into an unrestrained rage. The 9 Dragons Palace's women each showed killing intent. How can you be so discourteous to the 9 Dragons Imperial Empress? Taoist Master Yellow Crane insincerely rebuked. Quickly apologize. Yu Mao apologizes. Seeing the 9 Dragons Palace Imperial Empress is so beautiful, Yu Mao had wicked thoughts, please pardon me. That Yu Mao insincerely said. Although the 9 Dragons Palace was overlord of an area of the Black Turtle territory, that was over the faraway 9 Dragons Sea. The Yellow Crane School naturally did not fear them. Queen. Sure, Jinglun was calm and unhurried. She said, Taoist Master truly is using bitter conscience. Are you not saying you want to make me take action? Is it so easy to kill me? The Taoist Master Yellow Crane that had been seen through chuckled, What? What Sure Jinglun guessed was not wrong. Yellow Crane School was aware of Sure Jinglun's identity as a Star General. For this reason, they did not dare become hostile, but if the Star General acted first, the Yellow Crane School had grounds to kill the Star General. One might as well ask the entire Liangshan continent, who would not desire to personally kill a Star General. This was the greatest glory. Is Taoist Master so self-confident? Sure, Jinglun faintly smiled. Taoist Master Yellow Crane did not say anything, but his eyes clearly already had this reply. Yellow Crane Island was their domain, with a Faridance array. Furthermore, he was a supervoid cultivator, and he believed 9 tattooed dragon was not out of the question. As for the other 9 Dragons Palace disciples, at that time, they would be no more than rats fleeing a sinking ship. Could it be that Taoist Master has not thought that since I dared to come forth and make the request myself, that I dare make Taoist Master acquiesce? Sure, Jinglun said. Sure, Jin, you merely walked upon unexpected fortune in order to obtain the throne of the 9 Dragons Palace. Your martial arts are among the Fiend's stars, quite off from that peak. If Lu Jini, Lin Chong, or Guan Sheng were here, this Taoist Master perhaps would consider it. But you, Taoist Master Yellow Crane was not pretending. That kind face made a shameful expression. Well said, I was fortunate. Sure, Jinglun was not displeased with his contempt at all. On the contrary, she laughed even more happily. When those words fell, Sure Jinglun's hand then tugged. A sharp arrow immediately fired. This Taoist Master was waiting for you to fire. Taoist Master Yellow Crane smiled. More than 100 yellow dragon flying swords turned into a dragon that easily bit apart this arrow. Sure, Jin has taken action, take her down. As you command. The Yellow Crane School disciples gazed at the beautiful girls of the Nine Dragons School and each rubbed their hands. With loud shouts, their flying swords were called forth. Witness the power of the 9 songs Yellow River Array. Taoist Master Yellow Crane shouted. There was no activity at all. Taoist Master Yellow Crane was taken aback. The anticipated powerful sect forbid dance did not appear. What has happened? Confusion appeared in Taoist Master Yellow Crane's heart. So this was the 9 songs Yellow River Array. Merely so. A powerful male voice penetrated the air. Taoist Master Yellow Crane turned his head in astonishment. On top of the sect's building, a young man had appeared at some time. In his hand, he held a sword of cold light, his manner icily arrogant. His powerful aura practically squeezed the Yellow Crane School's disciples into breathlessness. Supervoid Cultivator. Taoist Master Yellow Crane turned grim. Taoist Master, you must not be careless. Sure, Jinglun slightly smiled. Her words suddenly slipped into his ear. Taoist Master Yellow Crane changed, hastily blocking. On Yellow Crane Island, saber light and sword shadows suddenly appeared. The Yellow Crane School's disciples that had originally thought that victory was at hand panicked one by one, but at this time, it was already too late. Meanwhile, the new Heavenly Phoenix gracefully flapped its wings in the sky, frantically progressed the Heavenly Fire attack. The speed and strength of this sort of attack made Su Xing see that even he would not last for that long. With a severe shriek, although the single-horned Pishio beast's body was bound by all sorts of pressure, that did not mean it lost its ability to attack. Following the sharp roar, an ice-cold whirlwind spewed forth from its mouth, pouncing towards the new Heavenly Phoenix that was so close at hand. A shadow suddenly enveloped the new Heavenly Phoenix. Following a grievous tearing, at the same time the shadow dispersed, the single-horned Pishio beast that thought it had attained victory was nevertheless astonished. The new Heavenly Phoenix's whole body surged with a gorgeous flame. In the sky, it was scorching hot, the flame extremely beautiful. Just by looking at it, Su Xing could not help but slightly praise it. The new Heavenly Phoenix once again attacked the single-horned Pishio beast ferociously. At the same time it blasted with a firelight, the new Heavenly Phoenix instantly moved and broke away. Its nimble movements made it avoid the single-horned Pishio beast's counterattack. Its body drew a beautiful arc in the air, the new Heavenly Phoenix drawing close to them. Nu also had intelligence, more bright than ordinary star cultivators. The new Heavenly Phoenix's entire body was just like a flaming lightning bolt in the sky, or perhaps it was more appropriate to use thunderbolt to describe it. The thunderbolt's heavy imposing weight was no more than an instant as the figure of the new Heavenly Phoenix already was completely distorted. All anyone could see was a frantic hurricane whirling in the sky, rolling to attack the single-horned Pishio beast's figure. The single-horned Pishio beast counterattacked with everything it could. The two powerful sub-holy beasts ferociously battled, the terror of the scene practically indescribable. Phoenix Cry Ninth Heaven. The new Heavenly Phoenix's gorgeous flames rolled and burned. The single-horned Pishio beast also instantly formed a hurricane might that was not the slightest bit inferior. The new Heavenly Phoenix's wings flapped. The flames were like pythons, ruthlessly biting the single-horned Pishio beast's horn. To the naked eye, the single-horned Pishio beast struggled as hard as it could under the bite of the python that the new Heavenly Phoenix formed. An ear-piercing scraping and tearing sound pierced the sky. Even the silhouette of the single-horned Pishio beast apparently felt pain. Its wide-open mouth let out a shrill bellow. The time to act on its suffering passed in an instant. The battle of the two holy beasts was no more than the blink of an eye, but it gave rise to a world-stunning shock. Gongsun Huang wielded the pine-brand ancient sword. She fired a bolt of star magic that knocked aside the single-horned Pishio beast. Su Xing simultaneously struck hand seals, and the 12 heaven tearings stirred, about to attack. The two worked together. This single-horned Pishio beast was not unintelligent at all. It sensed that its opponent was not to be trifled with. Roaring, a gale surged, and then it escaped upon the wind. The Di-Nu heavenly phoenix let out a sharp cry, appealing for Gongsun Huang's affection. It wanted its mistress' praise. Gongsun Huang pet it. Let's go back. I wonder how Nyangzi is doing. Su Xing said. Su Xing once again returned to Yellow Crane Island, yet the scene before him made him surprised. The previously tranquil Yellow Crane Island at this time was already extremely tragic. This smoke rose everywhere, and amidst the bright flames, there were screams and the faint sounds of fighting. In the war of the Yellow Crane School hidden in the forest, every sort of flying sword, artifact, and magic weapon each interwove. The entire Yellow Crane Island sunk into a world-shocking slaughter. It seems that woman still made her move. Su Xing raised his eyebrows upon seeing the scene before him. Nyangzi. Su Xing anxiously flew hastily down for Hu Nyangzi. Just who are you? The 100 yellow dragon flying swords bared their fangs and claws, becoming a disordered dragon shadow. A handsome and bright man gripped a sword that yet appeared to be at a realm with no other. One person alone fended off 100 flying swords. That power was not to be outdone compared to star generals. Supervoid Sword Saint. Taoist Master Yellow Crane's complexion changed. His sword was a lotus flower, and that man quickly pointed continuously in the air. The airflow seemed to become a formless line that followed the motions of his sword and suddenly appeared. That lofty flashing shifting trajectory appeared extremely mysterious. Specks of light like starfire flew in all directions, gorgeously blinding. Chi, too, how could Taoist Master Yellow Crane have ever thought that he would unexpectedly run into a supervoid sword saint? Although he had used his magic weapons and flying swords to trap this supervoid sword saint, there was an even more dangerous enemy behind him. Jinglun gently smiled. She carried a murderous aura. Taoist Master Yellow Crane was without a choice. He immediately bit open the tip of his tongue, the sound like spring thunder. With a soft sound, a white ball of light half the size of a person already appeared, suddenly charging towards the very close by Jinglun. Powerful waves of star energy directly tore apart space, and the substance of the nearby light ball immediately became particles. This was Taoist Master Yellow Crane's strongest ability, 9 Songs Absolute Destruction Divine Ball. 3. In Jinglun's hand was a staff. 9 tattooed dragons grinned. Without the slightest bit of fear, Jinglun instantly shouted. In her weapon's incorporeal airflow, a rapidly revolving vortex formed that finally became an eerie storm eye shape that entrapped the light ball. Without a sound. After the 9 Songs Absolute Destruction Divine Ball touched Jinglun's weapon, it was like a rock had landed against the water's surface, arousing slight ripples. Space gave rise to circles of ripples. The 9 Songs Absolute Destruction Divine Ball spun even more intensely, and Taoist Master Yellow Crane grit his teeth, breaking out into a cold sweat. It was obvious that he was controlling it with the greatest amount of effort to avoid being taken advantage of by Jinglun. A stark contrast to Jinglun's calm and composed face. Watch this. How could this supervoid cultivator that could move about Liangshan continent unhindered be willing to be defeated? In the silence, Taoist Master Yellow Crane formed hand seals. More Absolute Destruction Divine Balls appeared in the air, and the 9 Songs Absolute Destruction Divine Balls in his hands suddenly smashed towards Jinglun. An intense star energy wave wildly spread, creating a slight depression in space where even lines of sight were distorted. Although Taoist Master Yellow Crane previously contemptuously said that Minute Star 9 tattooed dragon Jin's martial force did not count as first-rate, now he was extremely afraid of 9 tattooed dragons closing in on him. Even this sort of first-rate martial general at close range was extremely foreboding. Originally, he had relied on his yellow dragon flying swords and magic weapons. Taoist Master Yellow Crane originally had the confidence to get rid of Jin, but the surprise appearance of a supervoid sword saint ruined his plan. Taoist Master Yellow Crane was very clear about Jin's martial force, and he did not believe those absolute destruction divine balls that were not fast at all could strike Jin. Following the absolute destruction divine ball's attack, Minute Star Jinglun's silhouette once again transformed into light rays. The hiss of tearing air once again filled the entire space. 9 tattooed dragons' afterimages were continuous. Under such high speed, let alone attack, even a figure was perhaps difficult to seize onto. From time to time, the air exploded with shockwaves. This was the result of Minute Star Jinglun exchanges. The Yellow Crane School's other cultivators and elders launched a battle of concentrated faith. They each took a direction, encircling Minute Star Jinglun from every direction. Their formation left a gap. A speed that was any faster would have lost any sense of direction and ceased to exist. That supercluster elder Yuzhong from before stamped his foot, making the ground's power sink down and then shoot straight into the sky. The shaking power immediately disturbed the Minute Star Jinglun's speed. Minute Star Jinglun's foot kicked, and she left the entanglement of the ground. But the other cultivators already waited a long time for this. Bloodlight blossomed. One elder was chopped in half at the waist, his expression of fright still left before he died. The light ray violently shot out, and a roll of thunder boomed. When Minute Star Jinglun appeared again, Yu Mao's use of his powerful strength added on to continuous battle fatigue made him slightly slow for an instant, but with regards to Jinglun, this instant honestly was too endless. When Minute Star Jinglun landed, a snort of contempt and disdain stabbed like a knife. Yu Mao also took a step back. His abdomen had already been pierced almost fatally by an arrow. Taoist Master Yellow Crane formed a hand seal, and the light of star energy gathered on his hands, forming a defensive posture. The attacks of all of the cultivators' flying swords then continuously covered everything, like a tidal wave. The 9 Dragons' Palace was unwilling to fall behind, and every sort of magnificent flying swords let out dragon roars, practically swallowing the entire Yellow Crane School with nothing left. A black shadow suddenly flashed by. Taoist Master Yellow Crane's pupils shrunk, and he continuously stepped backwards. Careful. The very first to be unfortunate was the complacent Yu Mao. The moment he heard careful, Minute Star Jinglun already appeared behind him. Several arrows emerged that attacked past his defenses. I very much enjoyed your vulgarity. Graceful mockery. The Yuzhong that lost his defenses turned pale, and he prepared to use his physical body's power to resist. Minute Star Jinglun basically did not give him any chance. Between when saber light rose and fell, Yuzhong immediately lost his life. Taoist Master Yellow Crane once again gathered the absolute destruction divine balls, shooting them towards Minute Star Jinglun. Minute Star Jinglun used her weapon to cut down these divine balls, but even when this tyrannical weapon touched the divine balls, it made Minute Star Jinglun stumble backwards with the skin of her hands split apart. Any way it was put, he was a super void cultivator. That magic energy made the Jinglun that was not yet at extreme realm still face some risk. Minute Star Jinglun immediately evaded the second 9 songs absolute destruction divine ball. But these absolute destruction divine ball acted really too oddly under the divine intent of Taoist Master Yellow Crane, as if it possessed life. The 9 songs absolute destruction divine ball continuously flew about in the surroundings. No matter how Minute Star Jinglun moved, it always could quickly find the position Minute Star Jinglun was at. In the process of flight, Taoist Master Yellow Crane still controlled his own power, making the great amount of absolute destruction divine balls attack. Taoist Master Yellow Crane practically put everything into fight for the sole purpose of annihilating the Minute Star's existence. In several short breaths' time, the absolute destruction divine balls surprisingly had 50 or 60 in number, and they still were increasing. Even Jinglun was impressed at this sort of ability. Bang! Minute Star Jinglun punched the ground, sending a large amount of earth and stone flying everywhere. The dust immediately pervaded the entire space, obscuring the lines of sight of everyone. Attempting to use this sort of way to change the situation before them, she broke free of the attacks of the weird light balls. As before, this was without any results. In the diffusing smoke and dust, the 9 songs' absolute destruction divine balls seemed to not be influenced, still unrelentingly pursuing Minute Star Shi Jinglun's direction of movement. A gentle white light at this moment surprisingly was like the countenance of a death god, which made Taoist Master Yellow Crane seem to glimpse hope. Shi Jin, if you have the capability, then do not run. Taoist Master Yellow Crane laughed. Truly powerful abilities, I shall not run then. Shi Jin replied. Taoist Master Yellow Crane's heart chilled. Suddenly, she already appeared in front of him. Courting death. The 9 dragons' absolute destruction divine ball flew back. Hey! Shi Jinglun shouted. The weapon in her hands suddenly changed in a dazzling confusion. Occasionally, there was saber light and a sword image, and occasionally, there was a spear or axe. Countless gales blew across the level, seizing Taoist Master Yellow Crane like a tide. Not good, for star-destined weapon. Taoist Master Yellow Crane was shocked. Dark rank, Yellow Dragon worships heaven. A staff in Shi Jinglun's hand transformed into a yellow dragon that bound Taoist Master Yellow Crane. With continuous explosions, a powerful force directly shattered Taoist Master Yellow Crane's internal organs. However, as expected of a top-notch super void cultivator, he could still persist under a 4-star destined weapon. I feel that you truly are pitiful. Shi Jinglun smiled. Shi Jin, your dark rank is merely so. Watch this Taoist Masters, Taoist Master Yellow Crane grinned wildly. Whoosh! A sharp sword pierced his heart. Sword chi slashed, directly twisting him into scattered ash and smoke. Humph. The super void sword sank gravely and sternly wiped his blade, ending Taoist Master Yellow Crane's life. Shi Jinglun only felt pity. Following Taoist Master Yellow Crane's death, the Yellow Crane school suddenly scattered. Very quickly falling into defeat, Shi Jinglun did not issue orders to kill. The women were to be inducted into the 9 Dragons Palace, and the men were to be relegated to hard labor. Tianya shall now go help Queen collect the Yellow Dragon Pearls. The man turned his head back towards the Yellow Crane Tower. His figure disappeared from where he was. Just as Shi Jinglun was about to go forth, her brows suddenly wrinkled. A blur landed at the bottom of the mountain. Bang! Hun Yangzi was currently hidden in a corner spectating the war. Seeing Shi Jinglun's skill was suddenly frightening, to unexpectedly destroy a super void cultivator. Hun Yangzi was just preparing to leave when suddenly, Shi Jinglun turned her head and noticed her. An afterimage was left in her retinas, and without a word, a powerful to the extreme force already was upon her. It was too late to react, for Shi Jinglun was already sweeping towards her. Hun Yangzi's eyes flashed with light. The golden wind and morning dew double sabers suddenly protected her front. Shi Jinglun's speed and power were even faster and stronger than she had imagined. Hun Yangzi had already lost the chance to escape. The airflow around her body wildly circulated, and she fought with all her might. Bang! Their powers clashed. Instantly, 2 immense forces suddenly clashed briefly upon Hun Yangzi's arms. 4-star destined weapon. Hun Yangzi was startled. An explosion rose, and Shi Jinglun once again attacked. Her staff swept at Hun Yangzi. As 10 feet of blue anticipated, Shi Jinglun's martial arts were far more powerful than her own. Hun Yangzi wielded her double sabers with all her might, light smoke dance steps displaying its full power. Yellow rank saber technique, hate transmission. Shi Jinglun had originally believed this was another peeping enemy, had even thought to kill her in one blow. She did not think at all the young woman in front of her could execute such a quick attack, and that this attack's power had a sort of odd feeling. The young girl's figure gracefully took her along in a seeming dance. Immediately, a cold tip like a viper swam past her body. The accumulated strength in her body instantly disappeared without a trace. Shi Jinglun staggered, already retreating several steps, as if she was drunk. Shi Jinglun's face already was extremely astonished. Those charming eyes twinkled endlessly. With a muffled groan, a clear line of blood already leaked swiftly from the corner of her mouth. This was a Star General's technique. Jinglun covered the intense shock in her heart with great difficulty. She could no longer maintain the calmness on her face. In that instant of contact just now, who could have thought that the moment their techniques connected, the strength of her martial art would unexpectedly disappear upon that brief contact. It forced Jinglun even to be unable to counterattack. "Little sister, take this." Jinglun swept horizontally. The little sister in front of her was indeed very powerful. Her dreamlike figure was very unreal. Every time they clashed and attacked, the girl's every movement was extremely graceful. Her fighting could even be rated as the most beautiful handiwork in this world. Jinglun softly chuckled. She used full power, her long hair fluttering. Bang! The air exploded. Under Jinglun's full power, it suddenly became fragments. A large amount of smoke and mist clumped up, and Jinglun's figure already emerged from within. The surrounding fine dust seemed to be fiddled with by a formless hand. Following the attack of Jinglun's staff, they instantly became countless minute light particles, frantically pelting down on Hunyangzi's head and face. Under the impulse of that power, those minute particles surprisingly let out sharp cries. Thinking like lightning, in an instant, that expansive attack had already arrived in front of Hunyangzi, assailing her in the face. Hunyangzi slid by with light smoke dance steps, her figure leaning, her entire person already seemingly ice skating. A seemingly inescapable attack unexpectedly was entirely evaded by Hunyangzi's unimaginable speed and direction. However, the power the densely packed staff shadows held far exceeded her imagination. The light particles hot on her heels slashed at Hunyangzi like 1,000 knives. The staff technique rolled layer by layer like a tide, completely without pause. Hunyangzi spared no effort to go block. Golden wind and morning dew continuously danced with a most beautiful light. Suddenly, the long staff abruptly transformed, becoming a 9-section staff. This abrupt transformation ruined Hunyangzi's dance tempo. Dark rank, 9 dragons 9 flashes. 5. The section staff in Jinglun's hand was like a dragon that explosively shot forth. Each section carried a different strength, as if 9 adepts were simultaneously using 9 techniques, and the attack had 9 paths. The double sabers let out 9 continuous explosions. Each explosion was resounding, the size and level each different. Protecting against one, there was then another section, earth-shattering in approach. This was Jinglun's second dark rank, but it appeared to have no effect. The 9 attacks struck in Hunyangzi from 9 directions in succession. Flying Star Magpie Dance. Hunyangzi raised her double sabers, continuously moving. Bang bang bang, bang bang bang, bang bang bang. 9 sounds, 9 flashes of light. Hunyangzi barely blocked, yet she had been injured. Blood flowed from the corner of her mouth. Bright star 10 feet of blue Husanyang. Jinglun discerned the unceasing attack of those golden wind and morning dew. Humph. Hunyangzi immediately staggered away. Jinglun did not pursue, only yelling, "Elder sister has offended little sister just now. If little sister is interested, little sister can come to the 9 Dragons Palace. Elder sister can apologize to little sister." Who was Queen speaking to just now? Tantaiziu walked over. It can be assumed that the number 1 beauty of the Star Maidens will not look upon a man. Jinglun smiled. Suddenly, 9 tattooed dragons' smile froze on her mouth. The single-horned Pishio beast had fled back with its tail between its legs. Tantaiziu was shocked. Only after Hunyangzi made herself appear alone did she return to the cold pond. She then happened to spot Gongsun Huang, but she did not see Su Xing. The bright star was confused. "Where is dear husband?" Hunyangzi asked. "Nyangzi, are you all right?" Su Xing at this time flew back. Hunyangzi shook her head, but she told him about the matter of the Yellow Crane School and 9 Dragons Palace. Minute Star 9 Tattooed Dragons Jin. As expected of her, Su Xing already thought of her. Of the star generals he had yet to see, there was only her, but he did not think that 9 tattooed dragons Jin would unexpectedly operate an influential power. Wife, are you actually alright? Su Xing furrowed his brow as he noticed that Hunyangzi's complexion was not good at all. Did they make things difficult for you? Su Xing's tone chilled. Hunyangzi shook her head. Return to the star nest and rest. Su Xing said. Unnecessary, Nyangzi does not want to return to the star nest. Hunyangzi gently declined. As far as star maidens were concerned, the star nest always had a sort of feeling of imprisonment. That a star maiden did not wish to return to the star nest, Su Xing could understand. But, wife, many thanks for dear husband's concern. Hunyangzi bowed her head. Seeing her insistence, Su Xing could not easily compel her. I'll go see just what's going on with this 9 dragons palace. Jin has unexpectedly dared to take action against the Yellow Crane School. Su Xing ordered, Little Huang, you too be careful here. If the 9 dragons palace seeks trouble, don't be polite. Dear husband. Su Xing was about to leave when Hunyangzi suddenly grasped his hand. Wife, do you have orders? Su Xing said. Dear husband, please do not go find Jin for what happened to Nyangzi. Hunyangzi saw through Su Xing's intentions. I just want to see just how this Jin that reportedly has 9-star weapons is. Su Xing smiled. Dear husband, do not deceive Nyangzi. Although Su Xing hid it very well, he still could not escape the young girl's analysis that was fine as a hair. Nyangzi and Jin had a misunderstanding. Jin even invited Nyangzi to go to the 9 dragons palace. Hunyangzi repeated Jin's invitation. Su Xing looked pensively. Nyangzi's hatred is with Guan Sheng. Nyangzi asks dear husband to not be reckless. Hunyangzi's attitude was very resolute. Alright, I promise you. However, I see that the Yellow Crane School has already been destroyed. Jin ought to have some trump card, and I'm going to go see it. Know yourself, know your enemy. This is always good. Su Xing patted Hunyangzi's shoulder. He grinned, wife, be at ease, I know what I should do. Only then did Hunyangzi go limp. Su Xing once again sneaked into the Yellow Crane School. At this time, Jinglun was cooperating to break the Yellow Crane Tower's forbid dance, and no one noticed him. Su Xing sized her up and wrinkled his brow. 9 tattooed dragons Jin's influence was pretty big. Lu Tianya, how much longer for this Yellow Crane Tower forbid dance? Jinglun asked him. Lu Tianya. Su Xing suddenly felt that he seemed to have once recognized this name. Where did he hear of this? The man named Lu Tianya currently wielded his sword chant. Sword light shook with ripples, the earth seemingly tottering. Supervoid Sword Saint. Su Xing's brow creased even more deeply. No wonder the Yellow Crane School would be destroyed. He saw that the Yellow Crane forbid dance was about to break. Tantai Ziyu smiled, congratulations, Queen, congratulations. So long as you have the Yellow Crane Tower's 48 9 songs Yellow Dragon Pearls, with your upgrade to 5-star, these star duels will belong to Queen. Jinglun's face wore a smile. This is thanks to the assistance of all of you. Queen, disciple is overwhelmed by these words. Tantai Ziyu smiled. 5-star destined weapon. Su Xing's eyes narrowed. He gazed at the Yellow Crane Tower's bright pearls, and his heart already had a thought. Under a situation of not knowing whether they were friend or foe, how could Su Xing watch as 9 tattooed dragons Jin upgraded her star weapon to 5-star? Even if he had seen Jinglun's naked body, this exchange was not profitable. Taoist Master Yellow Crane, for the sake of not allowing Jin to order someone to sneak attack the Yellow Crane Tower in the middle of the chaos, had added a powerful forbid dance. Lu Tianya hovered in the air, his star energy concentrating onto his sword. An insufferably arrogant might concentrated over his whole body, as if he was master of heaven and earth. The Super Void Sword Saint was terrifying, as expected. Even if he was so far away, he could sense the pressure. So as to avoid trouble, Su Xing first ingested a change appearance pill. He used an escape technique to infiltrate the vicinity of the Yellow Crane Tower. At this time, everyone was focused on Lu Tianya breaking the forbid dance. Who would have thought there would be someone else? Hey! Lu Tianya slashed into space. The sword chi seemed to split apart the galaxy. The entire Yellow Crane Island shook, and 100 zhang deep gorge suddenly appeared. Yellow Crane Island had surprisingly been cleaved apart by his slash. An enormous rumbling noise. The forbid dance also finally dissolved. Lu Tianya then gently pointed. The 48 Nine Songs Yellow Dragon Pearls were each embedded into a corner of the Yellow Crane Tower. With Lu Tianya's abilities, one slash could free them. When Su Xing saw this, he immediately slinked over, directly arriving at the top of the Yellow Crane Tower to collect those 9 Songs Yellow Dragon Pearls at the top. Who? Lu Tianya abruptly shouted. Although Su Xing's hiding was excellent and even a genuine peek, at such close proximity, it was difficult to avoid the divine intent of a super void cultivator. Lu Tianya's figure leaped, and he charged. So fast. Su Xing had only just extracted one 9 Songs Yellow Dragon Pearl when a chilly sword chi whooshed for a cut without a word. The unstoppable sword chi immediately shattered the top of the tower. The Super Void Sword Saint was undoubtedly equal to the 5-star destined weapon of a peak star general. How could Su Xing tangle with him? Su Xing raised his hand and used Heaven Tearing to go intercept. The next second, Lu Tianya flew up, pouncing towards Su Xing. The sword in his hand accurately slashed by. In this exchange, no sword chi shot out from the sword at all, but the instant Su Xing's Heaven Tearing touched the weapon, the sword chi nevertheless instantly rushed out. Worthy of a Super Void Sword Saint, possessing an incomparable sword cultivation technique, Lu Tianya completely used star energy to adhere to the surface of the weapon, making the sword's body become an even sharper blade. Now, this lethal weapon already arrived before Su Xing's eyes, waiting to shred its prey to pieces. However, Lu Tianya nevertheless completely did not have the feeling that victory was at hand. He tightly knit his brow. It was very difficult to imagine that when a Super Void cultivator faced a supercluster cultivator in close quarters that he would show such an odd expression. In Su Xing's black pupils, familiar rays of light jumped out at him, that sort of keenness that only a star general seemingly could manifest. Their surroundings suddenly became dim. Then, before Lu Tianya could be in time to react, Su Xing already retreated with profound dance steps, then flinging out Heaven Tearing. Such quick speed! Lu Tianya was shocked, and then his fingers extended. Divine intent covered like a tide. He wanted to trap Su Xing, which with his super void cultivation was naturally very easy. However, at this moment, the space between them blossomed with layers of golden lotus flowers. Buddhist light glowed unbounded, displaying Sarira, Bodhi, gold leaves and every sort of Buddhist holy object. Under the Buddha-like might, his divine intent pressure was immediately disintegrated. In this instant that Lu Tianya paused, Su Xing again disappeared from under his nose with light smoke dance steps. Lu Tianya could sense Su Xing's powerful oppression from behind. Just how did he flank behind like this? Lu Tianya felt disbelief, but he very quickly lost the mood to ponder. Instantly, the chi on his sword directly slashed behind him. Su Xing was pushed back. Like eyebrows, this sword chi honestly was fine. Even if he was like this, he still could have room to maneuver. Lu Tianya did not say a word. He immediately used his countenance to turn the wind blade on the sword into a succession of attacks to act as his reply. Several dozen wind blades once again whistled as they launched towards their target, as if they were extending the sword, but this was completely useless. Vajra Evil Smiting Palm. Su Xing immediately thrust out his palm. A giant golden Buddhist palm covered Lu Tianya. This super void sword saint raised his sword. Brazen. Hua. Killing intent pounced from all directions. Su Xing looked and saw that the 9 Dragons Palace's other disciples already were rushing over. In addition, 9 tattooed dragons. Jin was even faster, her slender body skyrocketing up like a dragon. Su Xing was about to sink into this vast sea of murderous aura in just the blink of an eye. Su Xing executed the chaotic tail escape without any hesitation. A ray of bloodlight flashed. Bang! Disappearing from where he was, Jinglun landed on nothing. Her beautiful eyes were astonished. Su Xing already was high above the clouds, similarly using wandering the clear skies. Supervoid cultivator. Humph. Where are you running? How could Jinglun be so willing when she saw that Su Xing had wrested away 9 songs yellow dragon pearls? Sitting upon the single-horned Pishio beast to chase, this headache of a star beast was originally captured with much effort from both her and Qingxi. 9 tattooed dragons had confidence she was not inferior in terms of speed. Courting death. On that side, Lu Tianya also had fury in his eyes, with a sort of feeling of great anger to grind bone and scatter ash. Whoosh! 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 Bloodlight flashed several times, and he became fast beyond imagination. What sort of escape technique is this? Jinglun was startled. In her eyes, Su Xing's whole body was bound in a flashing red light. The swiftness of his speed made her unable to discern reality and falsity, but within a breath's time, Su Xing thoroughly disappeared into the horizon, as if he had never come in the first place. Jinglun even thought that her eyes were blinded. Where did this supervoid cultivator come from to have speed so fast? Lu Tianya had the same thoughts as her. Jinglun was unresigned. She ruminated, biting her lips. Who else could he be? Jinglun sneered. For a supervoid cultivator to also have this kind of power, there was only the Devil Star Palace. The Devil Star Palace, for the sake of obstructing her star weapon upgrade, used this kind of method. 9 tattooed dragons did not feel this was odd. Lu Tianya was silent. By the time Jinglun completely collected the Yellow Crane Tower's 9 songs yellow dragon pearls, upon calming down, there were only 43. 5 were missing. To appear outwardly as supercluster cultivation and even be able to steal these then escape cleanly away in the middle of a battle against a supervoid cultivator, this made Lu Tianya feel terror. 5 are missing. Jinglun wrinkled her brow. The 9 songs yellow dragon pearls were created from the White Tiger Territory's Yellow River silt. Jinglun used the 9 Dragons Palace's influence in the Black Turtle Territory to search a long time and only found 2. Without mentioning the danger of going to the White Tiger Territory to gather 9 songs yellow dragon pearls, there was no more time now. It seems we can only slow down for now. Jinglun sighed. She subsequently shook her head. Let us return. The Black Turtle Sea's other powers ought to be nearly done. Prepare the chariot to return to the palace. Tantai Ziyu issued the command. Su Xing lifted his head and saw a chariot off in the distance. Looks like I can't use the chaotic tail escape too much. Su Xing let out a sigh of relief. Ever since Su Xing blossomed the meditative mind lotus flower, the chaotic tail escape also reached a new realm under his meditative mind. Using it no longer required heavy injury, but it still felt painful. Furthermore, his cultivation would drop afterwards. It seemed this chaotic tail escape truly was something so incorrigible that it truly angered men and gods alike. The repercussions were purely evil to the point of discomfort. Su Xing ingested medicine, fiddled with the 5 yellow dragon pearls in his hands, and only then did he return to the cold pond. Dear husband. What happened just now? Hun Yangzi asked. I just made sure Jean postpone her star weapon upgrade. Ha, ha. Su Xing said. Does the cold pond still have baby's breath? Jinglun had been bathing here just now, and he did not know if the baby's breath had been taken away. Hun Yangzi's hand flipped. In the palm of her hand appeared several blue herbs. Suspended along the herbs were little flowers, like falling stars. This was baby's breath. What a relief. Let's go back for now. Su Xing nodded. This trip finally was considered not futile, and to see Jin also counted as a very big harvest. Tang Tang, can you refine dark rank wine like this? Su Xing asked. Tang Tang cutely affirmed. In the immortal's abode, Bai Yutang took out a little bottle with 3 glittering stars, dreamless. Every sort of wine brewing material was completely placed into the bottle. The cute little loli blinked, and then her little mouth gently blew on the jade bottle. Afterwards, she shook the bottle. Whoosh! A delicate fragrance entered the lungs. Dense fog emerged, and within were gradually flashing stars. Bai Yutang carefully took a sip, and her face instantly was flushed. It's finished. Su Xing was currently looking curiously at how drunk the little loli was. The process was much simpler than he had imagined. Put all the ingredients in, have Bai Yutang gently shake, and the scent of alcohol was already wafting out. Bai Yutang nodded. Her apple-red cheeks made anyone who saw unable to help but take a bite. Can I have a drink? Papa. Bai Yutang passed dreamless over to Su Xing. Su Xing carefully drank. The taste of the alcohol was about the same as orange jasmine. Bai Yutang's dark rank wine brewing was known as seemingly drunk and stupefied. It was only one mouthful, but Su Xing felt thoroughly drunk, as if he had ascended extreme bliss, too wonderful for words. It's good. Su Xing praised. Little Huang, wife, do you want a taste? Bai Yutang poured 2 cups for her elder sisters. Gongsun Huang drank. The wine slid in a line from inside the cup and entered her vermilion lips. Hun Yangzi was considerably ladylike. She gracefully held her goblet, taking a faint sip. Although the expressions of the two were considerably different, the result was the same. They both showed intoxicated expressions. Gongsun Huang flew to a valley inside the immortal's abode, suddenly pointing her pine-brand ancient sword. The white clouds dispersed, and the earth quaked. Dark rank, half-destroyed landscape. After one dark rank, Gongsun Huang immediately used another half-destroyed landscape. It was rather demanding for heavenly stars to use dark ranks, but after drinking seemingly drunk and stupefied, Gongsun Huang successively used 2 half-destroyed landscape without any ill effects. Tang Tang, your wine brewing truly is too amazing. Su Xing lovingly stroked Bai Yutang's hair. The little loli closed her eyes in pleasure, somewhat happy. Taking advantage of these additional days, I'll go help pick some more baby's breath. Brew some more seemingly drunk and stupefied. Worry-free without a care also can't be too lacking. At that time, we'll have to give some to Ying Mei and the others to taste. Su Xing could imagine that drunken scene. Bai Yutang gently nodded, her eyes squinting into crescents, showing a heartfelt smile for being able to help her papa. Which made Su Xing grateful. He wondered how Gu Tong and the others at the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion were doing. Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion. There was the clinking of goblets and chips, the sounds of merrymaking continuous. Great Saint Starkiller and Guan looked at this restaurant. The brave star's brows rose, her eyes somewhat cold. According to Great Saint Starkiller's self-injury trick, he needed only to feign drinking a cup of poisoned wine, and then he could kill a star general. At that time, the other star maidens in the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion would act to face him. And then, even if Guan was unwilling, she would act to protect her master. The plan was very simple. The moment he stepped into the threshold, Great Saint Starkiller saw the stone-like woman to the side and suddenly hesitate. That was a disappointment he had never seen before. Jin'er, just what do you seek in the star duels? Great Saint Starkiller turned his head to ask. Was victory not part of means fair or foul? Guan did not answer. Great Saint Starkiller shook his head. Since your star weapon has already been imbued with the Devil Star, Jin'er, there is already no room to turn back. Is it no good to allow us to use the most unbridled attitude to scale Maiden Mountain? This path should not be used. Guan coldly replied. Victors, the way of the king. Great Saint Starkiller sneered. Losers did not have the qualifications to say anything. When you and I originally signed our contract, did you not think of the status of my Devil Star Palace? The #1 Devil Palace of the Black Turtle Territory. But this kind of method, forget it, let us first calm down. This spring breeze drunken rain pavilion's worry-free without a care is very good. Jin'er, think carefully. As villains, we already cannot turn around. Any mercy is a ridiculous delusion. Do you hate the Devil Star Palace right now? I hate it, too, but we still do not have the strength to break free. Guan Ying's eyes had a peculiar luster. 2 guests, would you like anything to drink? A waiter welcomed them with a smile. Several cups of worry-free without a care. Great Saint Starkiller said. We are truly sorry, but there is already no more worry-free without a care. The waiter said. But how? Call your proprietress here. Great Saint Starkiller coolly said. Mistress has already left. This spring breeze drunken rain building has already changed ownership, so worry-free without a care. What? She left? Great Saint Starkiller was shocked. To where? Your servant does not know. The waiter was awkward. Great Saint Starkiller snorted and allowed him to withdraw. He never thought that she would leave. Great Saint Starkiller originally thought that to dangle a star weapon on the front door as they did, they were already prepared to suffer the fate of a starfall at any time. Forget it. Going to Black Turtle Temple is also good. At that time, Guan will also be required to take action, saving me from committing treachery myself. Great Saint Starkiller thought. Bring the best wine your restaurant has, very well. Jin'er, allow us to drink to our content for the sake of the goal of ascending Maiden Mountain. Great Saint Starkiller drained the cup in a gulp. Guan did not hesitate at all to seize her wine jug, drinking it clean to the shock of everyone. It was as if she wanted to drink herself away. Palace of Empress Ruan walked along an intertwining corridor. The interior of the Palace of Empress Ruan was completely an imperial aura, with the dazzling sight of colored glass and precious gem decorations. Beforehand, she was informed from Zhao Hanyan that the Palace of Empress Ruan was divided into 3 levels of top, middle and bottom. The middle level could be entered by anyone, Star Cultivator or Star Master, but the highest level required possession of a star crest to enter. It was completely different from many of Liangshan's ruins. The Palace of Empress Ruan was a prehistoric palace. The fortunate could find ancient secret books and materials, and the misfortunate could find 10,000 liang of gold. Nobody knew how many treasures the inside of the Palace of Empress Ruan had. However, 1,000 years had passed, and now Suan walked a clearly very empty corridor. The night light pearls that originally used for illumination had all already been taken away. A few floorboards and decorations had been peeled away. Suan did not care for these. The Palace of Empress was most famous, holy image of Empress Ruan. In the palace was purported by legend to be able to condense the tears of Empress Ruan once in 100 years. Continuous for 1,000 years, this was the goal of all star masters. The Palace of Empress Ruan existed in Liangshan continent for 3 days. Time was of the essence, and Suan was not reluctant to leave the treasures in these hallways. Walking for a long time, noises suddenly came from in front. Suan slowed her pace. It was a very common occurrence for each of the great sects seized the chance to rob the property of other cultivators. Slowly walking down the corridor, there was then a main hall. 2 galaxy cultivators were currently battling. From their attire, they both seemed to be from the Blooming Water Sword sect. That supercluster early stage was unable to continue. He hastily shouted, Brother Lu, what are you doing? We are senior and junior brothers from the same sect. Senior and junior brothers from the same sect? Then obediently give that fire rhinoceros belt to me. That cultivator named Lu sneered. Suddenly, he threw out several talismans. Those talismans became golden light that violently shot out. His opponent threw out an iron shield. The golden light shot into the shield and suddenly scattered into countless sparks. Your servant found this fire rhino belt first. The cultivator grit his teeth, releasing a golden light to protect himself, unwilling to hand it over. The fire rhino belt was a young cultivation treasure, how could he be so willing to give it up? Cultivator Lu snorted, and his flying swords released golden light at the same time. A glinting golden halberd hung in front of him. Galaxy magic weapon, mountain-breaking halberd. The other party shouted, promptly placing the shield in front of him. Senior brother, stop. Your servant shall give this fire rhino belt to senior brother. He hastily cried. Die, idiot. Cultivator Lu sneered. The mountain-breaking halberd moved. With a boom, the halberd slammed into the shield. The shield shattered. The cultivator turned to run, but his stomach was pierced through. Since you are here in this palace of Empress Hua, you must be prepared to die. Not only junior brother's fire rhino belt, but senior brother wants your other things, ha, 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 ha. Cultivator Lu laughed aloud. He extended a hand to take the astral bag. No one cared about this death in the palace of Empress Hua anyways. Hey! Suddenly, Cultivator Lu whirled around and pointed. That mountain-breaking halberd transformed into a golden light. Bang! The wall was blown apart. Oh, so it was a beauty. Cultivator Lu had long already sensed in Suan. Seeing that the girl lacked the strength to even truss a chicken, he laughed. You saw everything just now. This palace of Empress Hua is truly great, killing and robbing people is inevitable and right, what a delight. He beckoned. The flying swords cried. And Suan gently shook her head, suddenly gesturing with her delicate hands. A green hurricane rose steeply and pounced upon Cultivator Lu. What is this? Cultivator Lu turned pale from fright. The flying swords and artifacts hastily slashed. That hurricane surrounded him in the blink of an eye. Astonishingly, it was thousands of individual slim dragon-like demon beasts. He was too late to let out a scream. When the storm passed, Cultivator Lu was already a lifeless corpse, leaving behind only his astral bag as a sign he had ever come by. At this time, a weak voice came from behind her. And Suan did not dare be careless, and she had the essence-swallowing dragons gather around her body. There was a weak moan, and a figure walked out from the dark corridor. And Suan was taken aback. A young girl with white clothes that surpassed snow walked out, but those white clothes had been parted by a glaring spatter of blood, soaking it in red. The girl was considerably wan, a wound deep enough to show bone below her ribs. Gong Kaiwei leaned against the wall. Although she had sustained heavy injury, she still was very tenacious. Are you all right? And Suan ran over. Without any hesitation, she produced the child and mother-linked heart's needles and stuck them into Gong Kaiwei's body, activating life-returning magic hands. Gong Kaiwei was stunned. She did not think that the young girl in front of her would save her. You are the efficacious star, why save me, who injured elder sister? And Suan asked in astonishment. This place has an assassin. Gong Kaiwei's pale face gradually regained color. The ice spirit Snow Soul's eyes gazed at Suan in confusion. Why would you want to save me? Gong Kaiwei asked again. Big brother would make Suan save you, too. And Suan's tone was tender. Gong Kaiwei frowned. Big brother, the first thing to jump into her mind was the Su Xing that said to her, I don't need a reason to save people. It cannot be, the efficacious star's big brother. Gong Kaiwei could not understand. Black Turtle Temple opened on the last day of Evil Smiting Hall. The location was in the depths of the Black Turtle Sea. Zhang Yuqi approached, and Su Xing rushed over together with her. On a small island, many countless cultivators were already crowding. However, Su Xing did not go to that packed island. Rather, he followed Zhang Yuqi water escape to a nearby islet. According to her words, Shiyu preferred quiet. On one island, there was a vaguely visible red amidst a pure white. When he drew closer, he could see a beautiful girl's face. Su Xing. The water illusion fairy from far away appeared to be a solitary orchid, making people unable to draw near, but immediately after Su Xing came, this solitary orchid suddenly turned into a water fairy. Shiyu somewhat sighed emotionally. Spotting the water illusion fairy, Su Xing was a bit startled. What should he say? The Shiyu at this moment was like an orchid, her countenance gorgeous. She wore a seemingly traditional Han long gown. Her attire surpassed snow, and her feet were clad in phoenix boots. Her black hair hung at her shoulders, glossy like silk. A string of vermilion and white intertwined on a damask embroidered with cryptic script that bound her streaming black hair, emitting an ancient charm. A pair of limpid eyes had pressing spiritual power, completely without blemish. Her lips were the color of peaches, a considerably absolute beauty. If she was on earth, she absolutely could kill instantly with a look. For Su Xing to not have such a big reaction upon seeing Shiyu for the first time, the Zhang Feiyu to the side twitched her lips. Zhang Yuqi smirked, the water illusion fairy truly is seeing her boyfriend in her best clothes. Shiyu's face turned red, somewhat bashful. Hey, is this that man you said would be accompanying you? Humph. A cold snort came from a person beside Shiyu. Su Xing came back to his senses, and only then did he take note of the man and woman beside the young girl. Although their attire was not as magnificent as the girl before him, they were full of grace. The girl that spoke hoarsely shouted, surprisingly a supercluster star master, Shiyu, do you truly believe in him? The other middle-aged man cast a glance at Su Xing. There was also Hu Sanyang beside Su Xing, leaving him somewhat confused. This man and woman were of supercluster middle stage and late stage cultivation, great elders of the illusion and reality sect. This time, they were following Shiyu together into the Black Turtle Temple. Shiyu cast an apologetic expression. Do you still doubt the man that Feiyu's little sister looked upon? Zhang Feiyu said in displeasure. The two great elders did not say much more. Take it. That great elder that looked like a young woman threw a jade pendant over. Su Xing already knew the rules of Black Turtle Temple. The Black Turtle Territory's great sects laid a forbid dance on Black Turtle Sea. Only those that used this jade pendant could enter. Rather than say it was a guard against other sects, it was better to say this was to deliberately make some top-notch star generals unable to enter. This also was the advantage of a sect. Then, they explained the situation of the Black Turtle Temple. Not long after, the other islands saw a boundless escape light, and black clouds arrived one by one. They landed on each of the summits. Shiyu explained to Su Xing that each was an influential sect. The influence of Black Turtle Territory's Star Masters was far from that of the Azure Dragon Territories, the distribution they were at very wonderful. Other than 5 great sects of 1 devil palace and 4 devil sects acting as chiefs, there were also 2 influential star maidens. One was the Black Turtle Sea's overlords, 3 Ruan's water fort, Su Xing, and the others had crossed paths with 2 of the 3 Ruans. Naturally, he knew the might of this water fort. The other was the ruler of the 9 Dragons Sea, 9 Dragons Palace. Its imperial empress was Minute Star 9 Tattooed Dragons Jin'er. Even the Devil Star Palace was not at all willing to provoke their influence. Speaking of Jin'er, why did she become the Imperial Empress of the 9 Dragons Palace? Su Xing was still perplexed after much thought about this mystery. This will have to be traced back to the previous star duels. Zhang Feiyu chuckled with a considerably jealous expression. What do you mean? Su Xing asked. He knew that noble star Little Whirlwind Chai Ling had placed herself outside of matters pertaining to the star duels, so each generation of star duels she could pass on what was considered the abnormal operating business of Liangshan. However, this was the first time he heard of another star general doing so. Zhang Feiyu also was not too clear on the minutiae. She only knew that the previous 9 Tattooed Dragon operated the 9 Dragons Palace together with several other star generals. At that time, they still relied on every sort of method to turn the 9 Dragons Palace into the overlord of the 9 Dragons Sea region. After the star duels finished, the 9 Dragons Palace was turned over to a sword cultivator named Lu Tianya for safekeeping. This Lu Tianya's birth name was Langpa, yet he had considerable tricks. Later, after he had the fortune to obtain the Purple Star Astral Treasure 9 Dragon Seal, he made the 9 Dragons Palace like the sun in the sky. To speak of it, it was somewhat odd. After this generation of star duels began, this Lu Tianya once again gave the position of Imperial Empress to this generation's Jin, which made everyone confused. However, come to think of it, there was an origin with the previous star duel. 9 Dragon Seal. Su Xing suddenly recalled Qingxi's astral treasure. His brow tightly creased, that Lu Tianya didn't sign a contract with Jin. No, after the previous Wu Song became overlord without signing a contract, this generation's Jin is also imitating her, Shiyu answered. Zhang Feiyu coldly snorted disdainfully, if you can't scale Maiden Mountain, what use is there in becoming the overlord? Elder sister, you're gravely mistaken. Zhang Yuqi winked. How can elder sister be wrong? Zhang Feiyu twitched her lips. Little sister once received Jin's invitation. I heard her say that these star duels have anomalies, and that there is no need to rely on a star master to be able to ascend Maiden Mountain. Zhang Yuqi's words made Zhang Feiyu surprised. Following the boatman's even greater disdain, however, she is using enticing words to lure other star generals. What is she planning? How would I, Feiyu, not know? Is she not thinking of assembling sisters to help expand her 9 Dragons Palace, and then eradicate the Devil Star Palace? Is the anomaly referring to Milord Su Xing? Shiyu brows frowned. The Zhang sisters were astonished, as if they felt this was somewhat logical. Su Xing did not confirm nor deny their words. Rather, he still thought of one person, Qingxi of the Uprising. It seems there is need to use some trick to understand Qingxi's identity, background, and capabilities. Su Xing muttered to himself, making a decision. What is Milord mumbling about? Shiyu listened in. I'm thinking that the 9 tattooed dragons' affairs are so mysterious, the next time I can, I'll go seek out Chai Ling for information. The noble star's influence was vast, her information reached the heavens, and she ought to understand something like this inheritance. Young Su even knows noble star Little Whirlwind Chai Jin. Zhang Yuqi covered her mouth. I only helped her capture her star beast once before, that's all. Su Xing smiled. What? Is this man joking? You unexpectedly can obtain the noble star's trust. Zhang Feiyu said in disbelief. Even if she was in the faraway Black Turtle territory, she also knew of Chai Ling's advantages and disadvantages. In the successive star duels, never had a noble star dare believe in a star master. Anomaly, could this actually be referring to him? Zhang Feiyu's expression was strange. Zhang Yuqi smiled pleasantly, for even noble star Little Whirlwind to be able to believe in you, Yuqi's eyesight honestly is good. A long while after, the surrounding islands were filled with more and more sect cultivators. Each hilltop was full of people, an inauspicious air soaring into the sky. The Black Turtle Temple was a place that possessed countless valuables, and even gems and spirit medicines could be encountered. Thus, each cultivator very much wanted a share of the goods. In her spare time, Shiyu sought out Su Xing for a chat. She indirectly inquired about if Su Xing was well or not. How could Su Xing not recognize the fondness in those eyes, but Su Xing himself nevertheless did not feel any feelings of chemistry, even if the girl dressed so splendidly. However, Su Xing originally did not believe in anything like love at first sight. This sort of thing just followed the course of nature. At the very least, a star master like the water illusion fairy being his companion was not a bad thing. Su Xing's absent-mindedness nevertheless made the people of the other sects on the island somewhat itch to quickly kill him. Seeing the renowned water illusion fairy surprisingly dress her best honestly was a sight for their eyes, but seeing her chat so amiably with a man they had never seen before, their hearts seemed to leak blood. If it was not for the obstruction of the two elders and the water illusion fairy, they would have already joined in opposition against this common enemy. Su Xing was rather speechless to see their hatred, since ancient times, femme fatale were always around. It seemed before even entering the Black Turtle Temple, he had become the public enemy. The others did not dare speak, but some did not think this way. A perilous situation arose. An enormous green-scaled dragon alligator, a dragon king beast, and a white-furred sea ape appeared on the ocean, moving towards the illusion and reality sect. The three terrifying star beasts were grand in might. The seawater was divided into several dozen zhang sea waves, and that white-furred ape among them was especially extraordinary. With water blue and golden eyes, its body had flower markings. Its mouth parted, revealing fangs, as if it was grinning. Its four limbs were huge, particularly that bright and dark alternating ocean blue armor the sea ape was draped in. Its hand gripped a sword and a shield. The bright and dark reflected. Standing on water, it was practically like a galactic water god. Blue Wave's underworld quail. 2. Su Xing very quickly recognized the name of this star beast. Ranked 8th on the star beast list, it just so happened to be lower than Lin Yingmei's snow-treading frost-eye beast by 1 rank. Su Xing had a very deep impression, particularly this Blue Wave's underworld quail name. This underworld quail sea ape carried a mighty woman. She wore a pink tube top and a palace dress of rippling sleeves. Her askew horse bun was stuck with 2 white cloud golden hairpins through the sides. 1,000 waves golden hoops decorated her waist, appearing perfectly fine without losing any luxury. Her golden eyes were particularly imposing, her willow brows like smoke-carrying slight beauty. Beside this woman were Ruan Xiaowu and Ruan Xiaoqi. The former looked at Su Xing and ground her teeth while the latter still looked indifferently through her children's picture book amidst the wind and waves. There was no need to say it. The identity of the woman sitting on the Blue Wave's underworld quail was on call. Sword Star Tai Sui who stands his ground Ruan Shower. 3. The three Ruan's water fort's prestige was vast. They had mobilized 50 or 60 cultivators of extraordinary cultivation. The cultivators on the side of the road withdrew in shock and anger. Su Xing had originally thought to use the birth treasure outline to illuminate the background of this Ruan shower, but recalling that he was being eyed by other star masters and had become everyone's object of hate, he endured the urge. There are other chances, anyways. Zhang Yuqi, Zhang Feiyu, you sluts. The three Ruan's water fort arrived, and Ruan Pinger indignantly cursed them. A little foul-footer like you dares curse me? Zhang Feiyu's hand gripped the flaming Fish King saber and was about to attack. A flying sword stopped her. Pinger, Ruan Jin'er shouted. Ruan Pinger snorted unwillingly. Last time's defeat was certainly still on her mind. She truly hated this pompous couple to death. Why would Fort Master Ruan Jin'er have the leisure to find our illusion and reality sect for a chat? That young-looking female illusion and reality sect elder smiled. Ruan Jin'er glanced at her, not caring at all for her. She only stared at Su Xing. Ruan Mayer's gaze also lifted her gaze from the children's picture book onto Su Xing's body. This time, we have come only to seek a justice. Your pair of sisters helped a star master bully my Ruan sisters. I want an explanation. Ruan Jin'er coldly said. Water illusion fairy Shiyu said, Sword Star, you do not properly manage your Ruan sisters who make trouble out of nothing. You kicked the floorboard yourself, yet you do not blame their rudeness. You still wish us to give you an explanation? The water illusion fairy's words were sharp, rather in spite of Ruan Jin'er. The two elders were somewhat astonished, however, this was a matter between Star General and Star Master. They could not easily intervene. White stripe in the waves, boatman, have you made your decision to stand at the side of this Star Master? Ruan Jin'er calmly asked. And what of it? Shiyu was neither servile nor overbearing. This man possesses the birth treasure outline, do you believe in him? Ruan Jin'er once again asked. The voice of Sword Star Tai Sui who stands his ground was not loud, yet it was sufficient to allow the surrounding several dozen people at the sea hear clearly. Su Xing thought that this woman's schemes were too deep. The things he previously had misgivings about had been seen through by Ruan Jin'er. This woman nevertheless was ruthless. Su Xing immediately felt several icy stares aim at him. I forgot until you mentioned it. Su Xing smiled. He extended his hand and flipped out the birth treasure outline. Star position, sword star star name, Wan shower nickname, Tai Sui who stands his ground true name, Wan Jin'er rank, 27th star weapon, Azure Seas green duckweed, 4 star, star beast, blue waves underworld quail, 5, realm, matchless 5th stage innate skill, sword chant 5 elements, water yellow rank special move, death sentence beheading, 6, dark rank special move. Duckweed are broken / curtain flower canopy shadow reversed, 7, current status, no contractor, can be conquered. Detailed materials. Matchless 5th stage. This martial force realm was high enough to surprise Su Xing Xiyu, Zhang Feiyu, and the others showed expressions of astonishment. The water illusion fairy immediately calmed down, indifferently saying, Xiyu has already made her decision to follow Milord. Ruan Jin'er, anything you say is useless. Huh? Ruan Jin'er did not anticipate that the water illusion fairy would say something so shocking. The seas seemed to explode. Water illusion fairy, you are serious? Ruan Jin'er hid her own feelings very well. Xiyu disdained to reply. It seems you have found a very good patron. If only it were possible for this patron in Black Turtle Temple to allow you to be even more like a fish back in water compared to us 3 Ruans. Ruan Jin'er nodded, her tone already hiding her killing intent. The Black Turtle Temple was the test run for the 3 heavenly books. Xiyu did not doubt one bit that this sword star Tai Sui who stands his ground had made preparations long ago to face star masters inside the temple. You had best not run into us. Ruan Ping'er made a scary face. Let us go. Ruan Jin'er waved her hand. All of the water fort cultivators then flew towards an island. The other cultivators on the island could only leave one by one upon seeing this. Did you offend the 3 Ruans? Su Xing put away the birth treasure outline, however, he immediately recalled that the influence of both sides were just like fire and water, indifferent to offending or not offending each other. Is Milord unwilling to believe in Xiyu? The water illusion fairy said in a small voice. This actually isn't the case, Su Xing shook his head, the Black Turtle Temple. We had better be careful of the 3 Ruans. Looking at Ruan Jin'er's back, this sword star seems to be very powerful, a 4-star destined weapon. What do martial arts count for? What is most terrifying is that this sword star is capable of using sword chants. Zhang Feiyu stuck out her lips. Sword chant. Su Xing wrinkled his brow. Could it be that her innate skill is to use the flying swords of cultivators? The water illusion fairy nodded. Su Xing and Hunyangzi looked at each other in dismay. The sword star has acquired more than 100 of the Black Turtle Territory's sword chants, but the most terrifying aspect is that she controls more than 1,000 flying swords. The water illusion fairy sighed. During the birth treasure outline phase, she once battled the sword star. Only by coordinating with Zhang Feiyu could she only just barely face the sword star. If the other Wan sisters fought together, they could only suffer defeat. Su Xing looked pensively. He finally understood why the 3 Ruan's water fort could flourish. It seemed the contributions of this sword chant art could not go unnoticed. As he thought this, the skies suddenly rolled with thunder. Su Xing raised his head to look. He spotted a 9 dragons aromatic cart emerged from the clouds. In front was a palace girl raising a lantern, and the rear was followed by armored guards hefting weapons, their imposing manner incomparable. Gasps of astonishment suddenly erupted. The 9 dragons' palace leisurely took the stage. Truly a great imposing aura. If it was not for misgivings about the Star General's Maiden Mountain, we could have long already destroyed this 9 dragons' palace. Just when everyone was drawn in by the 9 dragons' aromatic cart, some people were disdainful. Ming Dai sneered. Lady Ming Dai, this 9 tattooed dragon's Shijin is a troublesome opponent. Great Saint Starkiller muttered. This Black Turtle Temple actually is interesting. Ming Dai's gaze once again landed on Su Xing's body. Birth treasure outline? Ming Dai raised her eyebrows and eerily smiled when she heard this information. That water illusion fairy truly has good tricks, to unexpectedly know a man with the birth treasure outline. You two go ask about for information, what that man's background is, Ming Dai ordered several disciples. Could this man be the Purple Thunder Monster? Great Saint Starkiller knew that 3 of the 4 birth treasure outlines were under ownership. Only the White Tiger territories was missing in whereabouts, but the dangers of the White Tiger territory were absolutely not for the average cultivator, let alone obtaining the birth treasure outline. The Purple Thunder Monster. That man that is overturning heaven and earth in the Azure Dragon territory? Ming Dai smiled, this is actually to the liking of our Devil Star Palace. Jin'er, we must be careful in the future. Great Saint Starkiller ordered. If it was not for you letting go the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion Star Generals, there would be no need for such trouble. Ming Dai sneered. Great Saint Starkiller forced a laugh. He did not know how he should explain this, for the Star Maidens of the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion could be so ostentatious only if they embraced the attitude of starfall. This contrarily made the other sect Star Masters let them go for the time being, but who would have thought they would change ideas in spite of their restaurant? Disciple heard that beforehand, a Star Master and some of these Star Generals battled at the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion. Some of the cultivators spotted the New Heavenly Phoenix. The New Heavenly Phoenix, the second most powerful star beast on the Star Beast list. However, compared to this, its master was even more unforgettable, Leisure Star Dragon in the Clouds Gongsun Sheng, the Star General #1 in magic energy. The Devil Palace cannot easily meddle with the affairs of these star duels. You must look for a way yourselves. A black butterfly flew onto Ming Dai's fingertip. The woman indifferently answered, pausing for a moment to give a profound expression, do not make Devil Ancestor disappointed, disciple does not dare. Great Saint Starkiller gravely replied. Brave Star Guan, you had best renounce that ridiculous conviction. Ming Dai saw the mocking expression of that nearby Guan who had been silent all the way until now. Brave Star Great Blade Guan gave this supervoid middle-stage female cultivator a look not good in the slightest. Ming Dai did not mind either. She knew that these top-notch martial force star generals had an arrogant dignity. Supervoid middle-stage cultivators perhaps could move about Liangshan continent unhindered, but as far as they were concerned, this was basically not worth a mention. The previous plan to fell the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion Star Generals had unexpectedly died out prematurely, making her not see the scene of trampling on a Star General's dignity. She knew that forcing Guan any further perhaps would have gains that did not make up the losses. Thus, she raised 3 black pearls. Guan, take them. These are, Great Saint Starkiller was stunned. These are Yin soul pearls, specially concentrated with Yin spirit and Yin energy. These pearls can allow you to reduce the Devil Star might of the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone. Guan Ying's brow wrinkled, not believing her at all. So long as you bring the Dragon Snake Great Good Fortune Pill to Devil Ancestor has agreed to not only have the Devil Star Palace to do its utmost to help you upgrade your star weapon to 6 star, Devil Ancestor himself has the power to help you remove this 9 Nether Devil Star Stone. Guan smirked. How could she believe such an extravagantly embellished promise? Guan Sheng, do not be unable to differentiate good and bad. Ming Dai unhappily said, the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone is still our sect guarding item. If it was not for seeing you defeated so embarrassingly, how could we have given it to you? Your Frost Fair Blade is now already without any room to return. Could it be said that you are prepared to face Lin Chong barehanded in the future star duels? Jin'er. Great Saint Starkiller shot a glance at her. Be at ease, this general naturally will make an all-out effort. Regardless of Shi Jin or the Purple Thunder Monster, this general will not hesitate at all. Guan grabbed the 3 Yin soul pearls and stored it at her waist. This is good. Ming Dai smiled. On an island 10 li away from the Devil Star Palace's islet, black chi at this time soared into the sky. The Yin soul did not disperse. Shiyu, do you want to give up on this Black Turtle Temple? An old man with yellowing skin turned his head and asked with concern. 9 tattooed dragons Jin, the 3 Ruan's water fort, Guan, the holy lord of draconic demon that had contracted double stars, and a water illusion fairy teaming up with a star master in possession of the birth treasure outline. This black turtle temple lineup could be described as a bit too strong. He addressed the fiend spirit sect's soul star master Jiang Shiyu, too, with particular distress. The man behind him had a grand and impressive appearance. His cultivation was at the peak of galaxy, but he nevertheless was full of self-confidence. Elder 5 Calamities, please be at ease. Although the enemy is very strong, the Black Turtle Temple is within the deep sea. With Hudy, 3, at my side, Shiyu still will have a chance to loot a burning house. Jiang Shiyu slightly smiled, asking, Hudy, will you shrink back? A young woman wearing gaudy clothing walked out from space. Her blue long skirt was bound high up on her waist. Her coat, brocade, and short jacket stuck to her waist that was slim as a willow. The skirt dragged behind due to its extreme length. This made people think of a poem. Her skirt sweeps 6 spans of the Xiangjiang River. The girl addressed as Hudy tenderly smiled. Hudy will also do her utmost. Although Guan is bold and powerful, Hudy cares only about the 3 Ruans and the Zhang sisters. Elder 5 Calamities nodded. He was very appreciative of Jiang Xiyu's self-confidence. Very quickly, several dozen islands were already giving rise to different phenomena. Some were enveloped in multicolored light, some rolled with black qi, some whined with the sounds of ghosts, and others were dead calm, auspicious and peaceful. Su Xing took a little look around. The islands were already gathered full of people. Each and every one of the Black Turtle Territory's prestigious sects and star masters that should have come, had come. You both had better do your best. The illusion and reality sect's 2 elders left behind these words and flew into the sky. The other islands each also launched multicolored escape lights. These escape lights were each of the elder cultivators of the great sects that had come. Each had extraordinary abilities, and among them, a woman of supervoid stage surrounded by black butterflies made Su Xing feel particular chills. All fellows, if you would please. Ming Dai slightly smiled. Fellow Ming Dai, if you would please. These elder cultivators formed hand seals and raised magic weapons. Light rays intersected in every direction, twisting to form a net. A sea range of 100 li suddenly was covered by it, for they had established a powerful forbid dance magic circle. Su Xing immediately felt a terrifying pressure push against him. He was unable to move, and after flipping out the jade pendant, a ray of cold light flashed. Only then did he get through. Honestly, such an extravagant style. Forbid dances, Liangshan continent's most inconceivable power that more than a dozen powerful cultivators could only barely form by working together. Is there any need? Hun Yangzi did not understand. Xie heard that in the past star duels, other star generals were inextricably locked in battle inside Black Turtle Temple, being taken advantage of by other sneaky star masters. Afterwards, sneak attack starfalls were many, and for the sake of avoiding having more occurrences like these, those great sects would set up a forbid dance beforehand. In the case outsiders enter, they would need to stop thinking of leaving. Shiyu explained. So it turned out to be this. Su Xing was enlightened. This had to be the sandpiper and clam going to war against each other, only for the fishermen to catch them both. Seeing this situation, Su Xing suddenly recalled the Azure Dragon Territory's palace of Empress Hua. He wondered how Yan Yizhen and Ensuan were. Just as he thought this, Zhang Yuqi reminded him. Young Su, we should go. 100 li range of sea shook with a rumble. The islands seemed to be leaves caught in a storm, each of them incapable of supporting all of the cultivators, jolting without stability. An enormous rumble. 100 zhang tall wave rocketed into the sky, directly entering the clouds. A downpour rained down, splashing down a large expanse of raindrops. Young Su, we should go. Zhang Yuqi reminded. A giant counterclockwise whirlpool appeared on the sea. The island's other cultivators soared into the sky and threw themselves into the whirlpool. Water illusion fairy Shiyu raised a blue, water-parting damask, and a blue light glimmered that swirled and wrapped around her. The Black Turtle Temple was located in the sea. As far as cultivators were concerned, this was an extremely great trial. Su Xing also used the water avoidance pearl and other water-repelling items. Countless escape lights flocked directly into the vortex. Su Xing was not in a rush at all. Let's wait a bit first. Shiyu settled her mind. Those dragon snake good fortune pills can't possibly be obtained so quickly anyways. There's no advantage at all in going first. Zhang Yuqi agreed. The water illusion fairy nodded. A while afterwards, after several hundred escape lights had first disappeared into the vortex, the star masters of the other islands began to move. When Su Xing saw this, he and the girls entered the sea at the same time. After passing through a turbulence of grey mist, Su Xing was stupefied by the scene in front of him. Below the deep sea, a giant undersea palace towered that overlooked the landscape. At the ends of the palace was an abyss his line of sight was unable to penetrate, a murky depth where this palace seemed to spring up from. The palace's ramparts were crowded with coral reefs that grew with countless aquatic plants. Under the ocean's flow, the grasses gently swayed, like an ancient scroll frozen in an instant of history. Su Xing only recovered his senses from the ancient gravitas of these with great difficulty before he began to search for an entrance. He discovered that in the surroundings of this palace were innumerable doors. After the entry of the cultivators, those gates would automatically close then reopen. Su Xing knew that this was the Black Turtle Temple's Gate of the Black Turtle, which concealed a teleportation array. It was able to send a cultivator into a random spot within. The fortunate could reach deep-sea areas while the unfortunate would perhaps become the dessert of some sea demon within the Black Turtle Temple. Su Xing's group traveled in a line into the same door. The scene flashed, and Su Xing appeared in a magnificent room. The walls were carved with countless prehistoric murals, a single continuous piece, and in the center was a platform. Even if this was interior of the Black Turtle Temple, it was still surrounded by seawater. He could see innumerable aquatic grasses and coral, every sort of fish, prawn, crab and worm. "Wife, are you all right?" Su Xing turned his head to ask with concern but was taken aback. Other than White Stripe in the waves Zhang Yuqi behind him, the other girls were already gone from his sight. "Young Su, wife is very well." Zhang Yuqi seemingly smiled. "Then good." Su Xing muddled through. Zhang Yuqi shot him a glance. "Have they all been teleported away?" Su Xing wrinkled his brow. It seems that positions aren't fixed. You didn't have your wife enter the star nest?" Zhang Yuqi was a bit surprised. Su Xing shook his head. "She doesn't like the star nest." "So you allow her to go?" Zhang Yuqi was even more curious. "I have never forced anyone to do anything." "Su Xing, you truly love her." Zhang Yuqi shone the white water mirror heart. As expected of White Stripe in the waves, she moved freely within the water, shuttling back and forth as if she was flying. Gong Sun Huang emerged from the star nest. She used star energy to protect against the seawater's assault. The little lowly frowned very severely at the scene before her eyes. She discovered that in the sea, the star energy of the leisure star that was number on in magic energy already lost its dominance. Other than her dark rank, her other required supportive wind and cloud magic were incapable of use. "This is the world of water generals, just leave it to Yuqi." Zhang Yuqi patted her chest. "Right now, let's quickly go to the Black Turtle Idol." Su Xing did not want to delay. He did not feel like paying attention to the other things in Black Turtle Temple. Black Turtle Temple happens once every 100 years, and it has lots of valuable treasures. "Young Su, do you actually not need to look?" Zhang Yuqi smiled. "I'll release divine intent and scan as we go." "That's awfully convenient, however, careful that you don't provoke some powerful demon beasts." Zhang Yuqi always hung that very leisurely smile. Su Xing nodded, showing he understood. Just when Su Xing and Zhang Yuqi rushed for Black Turtle Temple's deepest lair, at another inner palace 50 li away, a man appeared. This man donned black armor and was draped in a black cloak. His hawk-like eyes brimmed with evil. The space at the man's side warped, and out walked two beauties. One was similarly clad in black armor and robes, her gaze like a devil's, letting out chills. The other was of a dignified bearing, of noble manner. Jin'er, Xiangfei. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demons sneered. Holy Lord? The ranked 61st correct star demon king of chaos Fan Ming evilly grinned. Does Holy Lord have some order? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon wore a twisted smile. We shall go kill the Purple Thunder monster and take his birth treasure outline. Has the Purple Thunder monster come? The other star general at the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's side, River Dragon Li Xiangfei, had an expression that was not sightly at all. It is certain to be him. How could something like the birth treasure outline just be there? Furthermore, although that man's appearance is not the same, he must have used an appearance-altering art before. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon confidently said, his expression cold and strict. But that Purple Thunder monster has Lin Chong, Yan Qing, Fan Ming sternly warned. This Holy Lord knows, but this place is the sea. Top-notch martial force star generals also will suffer a decrease in strength. This is our sole chance to be able to kill him. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon had already thought of things. The Purple Thunder monster was too cunning and wily. Other than by teaming up in the future star duels, there would be basically no way to defeat him. He had contracted 2, but the other Purple Thunder monster had contracted at least 5 or 6, which drove the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon nearly mad. But that man and the Zhang sisters have a very good relationship. Li Xiangfei did not forget to once again remind the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon who was about to lose his reason in the middle of his fury. Such a man that was incapable of calm made the river dragon knit her brow. He truly did not have the qualifications to become her master. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon calmed down, but upon recalling that the water illusion fairy unexpectedly adored that man, he again wanted to blow his top. Damn it, this truly is fucking ridiculous. The water illusion fairy has unexpectedly fallen in love with him, truly unreasonable. Jin'er thinks, she probably knows the might of the Purple Thunder monster, so she is thinking of using this as a pretext for an alliance. Fan Ming surmised. Although this was possible, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon knew that it could only be life or death between him and the Purple Thunder monster, with absolutely no good possibilities. Could it be that we are unable to kill him in our own domain? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was honestly sullen and nearly used a roar to utter a disgusting phrase. This Holy Lord's River Dragon Water General is so unbearable. The two girls were silent. What star duels do these count as? Is Maiden Mountain trash? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon cursed. Fan Ming shook her head, coldly saying, Young master, there is actually still a way. Jin'er, what way do you have? Young master, could it be you forgot our objective in coming to Black Turtle Temple? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon had an epiphany. He laughed, not bad, all Star Master and Star Generals have come to Black Turtle Temple inevitably for the Dragon Snake Great Good Fortune Pill. The Purple Thunder monster is no exception. So long as we wait for him to appear, we can uncover his identity at that time. This Holy Lord believes all Star Generals will team up then. HM. Exactly. That the Zhang sisters have also offended the 3 Ruan's water fort is also a chance. Li Xiangfei nodded. Shi Jin, Guan Sheng, the 3 Ruans, even if this Purple Thunder monster is any more exceedingly high, he cannot so easily flee this calamity. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was somewhat excited. Just the thought alone of this scene was enough to excite him. Good. We shall quickly go to the Black Turtle Idol. His demon sword fluttered, and the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon broke through the water and escaped. He glanced at the cultivators of the other great sects seizing their chances inside Black Turtle Temple. He smirked. The 9 phantasms 10 Bane's capital demon swords black shadows emerged in layers. The cultivators lost their heads out of fear, scattering in all directions, their screams continuous. The cultivators along the wayside were consumed with nothing left by the devil swords. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon laughed aloud. You idiots are perfect feed for this Holy Lord's demon sword. And Suan and Gong Kaiwei walked along the corridor. Dimly lit with candles, the mottled palace walls were cast with elongated shadows. Gong Kaiwei's snow-like attire had been stained with the red clouds of blood, making the girl appear to have an exceptional sort of cold courage. Gong Kaiwei lowered her head and did not utter a thing, as if she was somewhat preoccupied. An elder sister Kaiwei Star General. And Suan broke this silence. Zhu Sha is resting, Gong Kaiwei calmly said. And Suan paused, silent. Elder sister said before that assassin is investigative star Mu Hong, a very powerful elder sister to be careful of. Hers is a star master of the most high path. Their footsteps stopped, and slight astonishment flashed past Gong Kaiwei. The girl very quickly recovered her calm, continuing her shuffle. So it was the investigative star assassin. Fortunately, elder sister is all right. Gong Kaiwei sighed. After she and Zhu Sha entered the palace of Empress Hua, they very smoothly penetrated several levels into the palace. They did not expect they would suddenly sustain an attack. That investigative star was worthy of her name as a first-rate assassin. Unlike presence restraining arts, she completely hid in the middle of open space and remained undetected to Gong Kaiwei. Furthermore, the opponent's actions were considerably decisive and ruthless. She completely was aiming for Gong Kaiwei's weak point. If it was not for Zhu Sha using her own body to protect her master, Gong Kaiwei perhaps would have perished. Even so, Gong Kaiwei still sustained a cut. Thank you. Your big brother and I are merely strangers that came together by chance, nothing more. Gong Kaiwei's tone was gentle. However, big brother admires you very much. And Suan softly smiled. Big brother often says that it would be great if he could cooperate with elder sister Kaiwei to contend against Maiden Mountain. Gong Kaiwei was taken aback. He has actually said this. And Suan nodded. With Lin Chong and little sister Suan, he has no need to join hands with Kaiwei. These star duels are in his bag. Wrong, big brother does not want the position of Maiden Mountain's overlord. And Suan earnestly answered, Big brother only wishes to end the cycle of the star duels for the sake of our sisters, to not suffer the pain of internecine strife. Gong Kaiwei nodded, an expression of, I am not the least bit surprised he thinks like this. I hear that the overlord can obtain a wish. Perhaps, it can be achieved. Gong Kaiwei faintly replied. And Suan shook her head and smiled. Right, will elder sister Kaiwei not leave the palace of Empress Hua right now? And Suan recalled that with Gong Kaiwei's star general dead, to contest for the tears of Empress Hua had already become extremely uncertain. I will not allow Zhu Sha's sacrifice to have been in vain. The immortal hero princess was exceptionally resolute. The girl walked 100 steps. A shadow in a corner suddenly thrust out cold light. Bang! A clear slamming sound. Gong Kaiwei's snow-tracing sword stabbed, and a dragon was slashed out. Ka-cha! The ground split apart with cracks. You still think you can succeed a second time? Gong Kaiwei pointed a hand seal. Several dozen ice spirit snow soul flying swords circled around. The sword wind poured out ice cold, directly freezing this main hall. A shadow gradually appeared in the ice and frost. A woman of tall stature gripped 3-star double sabers. Her presence was chilly. What made people alarmed was a black specter along her back, bearing its claws and fangs. Star Beast, Dark Karma. Gong Kaiwei's brows knit together. This was but an assassin's perfect combination. The second time was unable to succeed, but do you think you can break free of the third time? Investigative star unrestrained Mu Qingying sneered. Immortal hero princess, efficacious star, today you will become the first people to starfall in the palace of Empress Hua. The dark karma's specter blazed like flames. Mu Qingying's presence completely vanished, her baleful aura flooded the space. And Suan's finger pointed. The child and mother-linked heart's needles glowed with multicolored light, spiraling in the surroundings. Then, the essence-swallowing dragons also flew out and became a storm that defended them. Essence-swallowing dragons, little sister efficacious star truly has assets. A sneer came from nothingness. Suddenly, the essence-swallowing dragons screamed, a sound like an unstoppable buzzsaw. The green storm was then severed. Several dozen essence-swallowing dragons immediately were killed into dust. Essence-swallowing dragons could consume the spirit chi of the world, but as far as the essence-swallowing dragons were concerned, a star general's star weapon was too sharp, completely incapable of being eaten. Go! Following the deaths of more than a dozen essence-swallowing dragons, this made investigative star Mu Qingying show her figure. Gong Kai-wei seized the chance to control her ice spirit snow soul flying swords into slashing over. Before the ice-cold sword chi even drew near, Mu Qingying already vanished. Recall the essence-swallowing dragons, this is being wasteful. The ice spirit snow soul flying swords circled around, their bone-chilling sword chi weaving like silk. And Suan hesitated. When she saw that the essence-swallowing dragons were truly helpless against the investigative star, she then called them back. They lost the barrier of the essence-swallowing dragons. Green light attacked without delay. Black ice point. Gong Caiwei's white fingers snapped. An ice-blue arc of light shot forth, stabbing just like a sharp sword. Mu Qingqing's flowing frost and moon shadow interlocked. She easily cut apart the black ice point, yet Gong Kai-wei remained expressionless. Her fingers kept snapping, and black ice sword light directly shot forth continuously from the girl's slender fingers, stabbing directly at Mu Qingying. Even if she was the investigative star, she was incapable of breaking free. Sword array, 1 wisp dead spirit. 2. Gong Caiwei's hand seals suddenly changed. The ice spirit snow soul swords instantly flashed with an icy fine lady's true spirit. More than 50 icy flying swords whirled around at the same time in the surroundings, letting out a humming cry. Then, they gathered above. White light radiated, and all of the flying swords instantly combined into one, transforming into an absolutely gorgeous fine lady immortal. Immediately, cold wind and ice and snow once again rose. The expression of the fine lady immortal exploded with a snowstorm, suddenly becoming a glarding cold wind directly twisting towards Mu Qingying. Puchi. 3. Just as Gong Caiwei's 1 wisp dead spirit sword array was about to cut Mu Qingying, just at this moment, 36 green flying swords gathered to form a giant sword. It blocked the fine lady immortal's attack. Each of the flying swords crisscrossed and slashed. Gong Caiwei's sword array suddenly broke this green flying sword into a disordered heap. But at this time, Mu Qingying already vanished without a trace. Not good. Just as Gong Kai-wei was about to use a magic weapon. The savage light of the double sabers already brushed towards her neck. The child and mother-linked heart's needles seized the chance to stick into the acupuncture points of Mu Qingying's body. In spite of the child and mother-linked heart's needles being far from comparison to the tyranny of a martial general's destined weapon, the efficacious star was an expert in medical arts. These child and mother-linked heart's needles had incomparable timing and accuracy. This prick immediately made Mu Qingying's speed slow for an instant. This instant was too precious to Gong Kai-wei. The immortal hero princess waved her snow-tracing sword and broke apart Mu Qingying's sneak attack. Careful. And Suan threw out a silver pill. The silver pill transformed into a galaxy that suddenly unfolded, entirely blocking a wide area attack. Gong Kai-wei was startled. She nodded, indicating to the efficacious star her thanks. The two drew close. Mu Qingying sneered. A man walked out from a corner at this time. He hid his own appearance, wearing a Taoist robe that obscured his affiliation. But the aura he gave out was nevertheless full of foreboding. Backstabbing is rather difficult to avoid. The Most High Path honestly plans meticulously. Gong Kai-wei sneered, having already discerned that the man before her was the investigative star's star master. The man's whole body jolted, somewhat shocked Gong Kai-wei had guessed his identity. He made a low chuckled, "Since you know, then you must die." A person who hides himself dares be savage. Gong Kaiwei coldly said. Bing Qingxian did not reply, only striking several hand seals. All of a sudden, 3 differently colored and shaped short swords flew out. The 3 swords made a triangle formation. The space seemed to be locked down, and a formless killing intent immediately stabbed painfully into their skin. And at the same time, Mu Qingying's 3-star flowing frost moon shadow also flashed pure cold light. The assassin hid into the open air, her presence thoroughly vanishing. Immortal hero princess, today you will be buried here. Bing Qingxian ruthlessly asserted. The 3 blades were the earth sword, dark sword and the yellow sword. The 3 swords assembled. An earth light, dark light, and a yellow light simultaneously manifested. The entire passageway was awash with a severe beating. Gong Caiwei's flying swords were surprisingly suppressed into a return. And Suan hastily activated life-returning magic hands. Gong Kaiwei grimly flipped her wrist. A jade porcelain bottle appeared, and imbuing it with her star energy, a rainbow light suddenly flowed out like a galaxy from the bottle's mouth, weaving into a canopy that enshrouded her and Suan within. Aurora bottle. 5. Bing Qingshuan's eyes glinted. This Aurora bottle was but one of the Extreme Ice Holy Palace's 3 great sect-protecting spirit treasures. The battle stored the heavenly rainbow Aurora that could attack and defend. In attacking enemies, it could be unstoppable, yet its defense was also top-notch, easy without being shaken. Such a good thing, if I were to obtain it, then I would practically be a tiger that has grown wings in these star duels. When Bing Qingxian saw this, the thought of throttling the immortal hero princess grew even more intense in his heart. Bing Qingxian also raised several powerful attack-type magic weapons to twist apart that Aurora. Mu Qingying wielded her double sabers, dazzling without any fancy cuts. The 3-star destined weapon was valiant, each cut making the Aurora crack. Gong Kaiwei did her utmost to maintain the Aurora bottle, her complexion increasingly wan. Elder sister Gong Kaiwei, do you want to go back first? And Suan's complexion changed, but upon seeing that Mu Qingying's star master already used 3 strange short swords in an array to tightly seal the space, even if they wanted to run, that would be considerably winding. Gong Kaiwei did not answer, yet her eyes did not have a trace of the intention to flee. Her ice and snow-like pupils merely had an indescribably chilly killing intent. And Suan surreptitiously clutched her heavenly spirit astral treasure, searching for a chance to use the 7 stars birth sword. The Aurora canopy was increasingly frail. Seeing them bitterly persist, Bing Qingxian smirked. He had many magic weapons and powers left behind by supercluster ancestor cultivators. With investigative star Mu Qingying, Gong Kaiwei, and Suan basically could not possibly be opponents. So long as this Aurora broke, the 2 would inevitably die. However, for the sake of preventing sudden changes, Bing Qingxian then used an all-out attack on the Aurora. How could they when the Aurora bottle was an immemorial spirit treasure? To break it was not that simple. Thinking quickly, suddenly, Bing Qingxian keenly sensed someone was close by. He had inherited the investigative star's perception. Very quickly he could sense that the newcomer's speed was increasingly pressing. This is bad. Bing Qingxian spun around, his supreme clarity flying swords returning to protect his front. But how could he have anticipated that figure would do the unexpected and disappear without a trace before charging into the flying swords? Qingying, look out! Bing Qingxian shouted. A cold and detached maid instantly appeared in front of Mu Qingying, her fists wielding countless sparks of yin and yang. Although Mu Qingying already sensed her, she did not expect her counterpart's attack speed to be so quick, to unexpectedly exceed her perception. Extreme Realm. Mu Qingying's heart skipped. Dark karma became a specter that was about to hide her in space. How could she have foreseen that yin-yang carps would leap out of the fists of that woman wearing a maid's skirt? The warm and cold light rays were just like a swimming dragon, unexpectedly seemingly alive as it seized Mu Qingying. Oh, no. Mu Qingying's expression changed. Then, an endless boxing technique of samsara loomed over her. A groan. Investigative star unrestrained Mu Hong nearly disintegrated under the boxing technique. Fortunately, Bing Qingshuan's flying swords protected her, and only then did she break free of this misfortune. In Yang Pisces' fists, Bing Qingshuan's nearly split open. In front of him was a pretty and aloof young girl. Her back faced Bing Qingxian, and she wore a maid's skirt. Her exposed snowy back had a blossom-like tattoo. Her vermilion pupils were like the 10,000-year-old ice of the poles. Elder sister Little E. And Suan was overjoyed. The newcomer was skillful star wanderer Yan Qing. Su Xing and Zhang Yuqi swiftly moved towards Black Turtle Temple's deepest level. Black Turtle Temple's most important valuable was the Dragon Snake Great Good Fortune Pill. So as to avoid other people becoming early birds that caught the worm, the two were making extreme haste. They did not have the desire to go see the valuables that were along the way. However, Su Xing's flying swords suffered the resistance of the seawater, making them considerably slower than normal. After reaching the area of the middle layer, this sort of pressure was even more clear. Zhang Yuqi was like a mermaid, her snow-white body quite dazzling in the dark depths. She turned her head back to look at the Su Xing left behind her, covering her mouth. "Young Su, shall Yuqi carry you for a ride?" "Go first." Su Xing shook his head. To be carried by her, White Stripe in the wave's speed would also turn slow. They could not necessarily be any faster. Zhang Yuqi smirked. She turned and was about to jump into the depths. An enormous rumble. Several waterspouts suddenly sprung in Zhang Yuqi's surroundings. Several grotesque creatures in the water appeared, and a giant bubble was about to swallow Zhang Yuqi. The damaged star was first astonished, and then she smiled. The white water mirror heart glowed, and immediately, a blue light shot out that ran through this bubble. Several more bubbles swam over at this time. These bubbles were strange, completely made of water and shaped like demon beasts. Their attack was produced by water magic. Fortunately, Zhang Yuqi was a martial general in water. To deal with this sort of water magic was very easy. White water mirror heart glowed, when suddenly, countless bubbles rushed forth. Zhang Yuqi was caught off guard, and she was attacked by these bubbles like arrows, tumbling uncontrollably down. The Su Xing who rushed over caught her, bringing Zhang Yuqi against his chest in passing. "What is this?" Su Xing was very confused by the thing in front of him. "This is a water array puppet." Zhang Yuqi grunted. She broke free of Su Xing's embrace. Shooting a glance at him, she noticed that the body of this man in front of her was still rather warm in these depths. The Urgency's white spirit python appeared and rushed into the middle of the array that Zhang Yuqi mentioned. Countless water puppets then rushed out, endlessly attacking the Urgency's white spirit python. However, these water array puppets were very quickly scattered ash with opponents like the Urgency's white spirit python and Zhang Yuqi. Zhang Yuqi looked around. Every sort of fearful cry came from their vicinity of the Black Turtle Temple. Upon a closer look, they were more or less water puppets. To other cultivators, these water puppets were extremely troublesome, and many cultivators suffered a calamity. This Black Turtle Temple's water array is actually very formidable. Su Xing secretly sighed. Should have thought of it before. How could that Hutie let go of this sort of opportunity? Zhang Yuqi softly smiled. Yuqi, what did you say, something about a butterfly? 6. Young Su, the array in this water has nothing to do with Black Turtle Temple. It was set up by someone. Zhang Yuqi warned. Who is this powerful? Su Xing looked. Everywhere in his line of sight, every sort of water array appeared. Those water puppets were even more endless, as if they were cramming the entire room. This sort of array was more powerful than star magic. It wouldn't be strange if it was full star Jade Flagpole Mengkong. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.